Afternoon, everybody. AW here. In what order? What's up? It's Wednesday. Is it August the 10th? Yeah, August the 10th. Hope we're all having a good day, afternoon, morning, night, wherever you are in this world. Obviously, we're in different time zones. Oh, I forgot to put the invitation link. I'll put that in, guys. Don't worry. All right. So as you see the topic down below, make sure you like, share, subscribe, whatever, you know, the typical stuff. Next, not this Saturday, but next Saturday, the 20th, my reviews are coming back for She-Hulk spoiler review. So look forward to that, guys. So yeah, click on the notification bell for stuff kind of stuff comes up. Make sure you've seen the show first, because it is spoiler review. It makes the conversation more interesting if the person I have. But I have a bit of a cold. Sorry. Yeah. Yeah, I have a bit of a cold. I'm sorry. But this is a Marvel stream, but I'm gonna talk a little bit DC, and I invited links to people if they ever want to come on, because of what happened, what dropped last night about what Hamada's plan was for the DCU. That was going to lead into a crisis event, basically their Avengers kind of movie, Warner Bros. DC's movie, like the Avengers, right? That's what came out, and unfortunately, that's not in the cards anymore because, well, the change, or as Azov basically said, that's not in the cards anymore. And there's been some developments on some of the projects have slowed down, like the Superman, Supergirl, Static Shock, all that kind of stuff. And we're gonna talk about that. I just need somebody to come on for that. I did invite them. Okay. Yeah, Max, I'll be on. I'll be on tonight, 9 o'clock with you. But yeah, have a good nap. Yeah, but tonight I'll see you, right? At 9 o'clock, talking about Grace Randolph and She-Hulk. Yeah, so check that out, guys. Movie Madness Entertainment tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern Time on Max's channel. Yeah, I plugged this channel on here. We'll plug TMME on here, man. Did I send a link? Yeah, I did send a link. Okay. Okay. I sent you a link, right? Okay. All right. Dave McKay. Oh, I'm sorry. That's a sports thing. I don't know who it was. But I actually did. I was on. I was on RJ's show last night at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. Basically, talking about the same stuff I'm going to talk about here. So If you were on RJ's show, I pretty much have the same audience as him. Uh, then you know what I was gonna say, right? You know what I'm gonna say. But so yeah, let's get into it. 4 people, nice. Okay, I want to get the game stuff out of the way, the video game stuff. Look, this is not everybody's cup of tea. This style of gaming, we have to use it's like cards and strategy wise, but Midnight Suns, and yes, it's the Suns and SUNS instead of the typical cover where it's SONS. This is SUNS. As you see here, you see Wolverine, Spider-Man, Iron Man. The person in the middle is created specifically for this game. She's pretty much a new Marvel character, not in the comics or the MCU. She's pretty much just created for this game, and she's the main villain's daughter, Lilith. And you see Blade here. This is Scarlet Witch. Yes, she doesn't look like Scarlet Witch. She doesn't look like she doesn't have the red, obviously, but she is Scarlet, like the red tiara, and the costume's not red. That's because Lilith manages to get kind of like the 4 Horsemen, and Sinister and Apocalypse have the 4 Horsemen. Sometimes Angel is one of them, etc. And in the movie Age of Apocalypse, you got Magneto as one of the 4 Horsemen, Storm is one of the 4 Horsemen, Angel, and Psylocke. Well, in Lilith in the video game, she kind of is somewhere similar to the 4 Horsemen, and Scarlet Witch does become one of them. Or so does Venom, and there's 2 others. I think Hawk is also one of them. And you have to free them from Lilith's control. So you have to free Scarlet Witch, Venom and whoever the other 2 from Lilith's control. Because I know that for a fact, because Agatha is in the game too. But as you know, I know that another style of combat is not everybody's cup of tea with that video game. But as you know, the game was originally supposed to come out October 8th or 10th, something like that. Early October. And I was going to get it, and I was going to stream it for you guys on the PS5, PlayStation 5. But now, it's not going to happen. But because it's been moved back to the fiscal year, apparently the fiscal year of 2023. So it looks like it's going to come out next year. We got a statement by the developers, the company. This is from them. We have an important update to share regarding our launch date for Marvel's Midnight Suns. After discussions with the team, we made a decision to move back the launch timing of Marvel's Midnight Suns to ensure we are delivering the best possible experience for our fans. We will launch later this fiscal year on Windows PC, Xbox Series XS, and PlayStation 5. So, if you have a PC, Xbox Series X, S, PlayStation 5, they're planning to launch later this year. So maybe December, maybe November, December. So it's not going to be like for those consoles, it may not be that'll be a long postponement, a long delay, a short delay, maybe a month or 2. So maybe November, December. But if you have a PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and Nintendo Switch, be a later date. So those 3, Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and Nintendo Switch, those versions will be a later date. But if you have Windows, Xbox Series X and S, and a PlayStation 5, I have all of that. You'll be getting it this year, apparently. My man, Blind Umbrellas here. What's up?
What's up? What's up, Aaron?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Uh, so. I wanted to come on and talk though, so.
All right, yeah. All right. I was just going over the Midnight Sun stuff. So basically, we're getting. Look, it's going to be delayed, but if you have Windows, Xbox Series XS, and PlayStation 5, it it's gonna they're gonna delay it to later this year. So probably November or December. But we have the Xbox One, PlayStation 4, Switch. That's gonna come out later. So you have those consoles, the ones I mentioned, XS and PlayStation 5. So you'll get it this year.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah. This is good. I thought, you know what? I thought it looked complete, but I guess not. I think they don't want to compete with Gotham Knights personally.
Mm-mm. I think, I mean, it's so confusing that they delayed it because it was like they just had 2 days before this announcement, there was gameplay. So it was like,
Yes.
what the heck?
Yes. I remember last year they said they're going to release it like in the spring of this year.
Yeah.
I didn't believe that for a second. I thought that was bullshit.
I mean, like, it's the first time like people were complaining about the card system, which I don't, they probably, well, they definitely didn't delay it to remove the card system. And I really don't see the problem with the card system anyway. Like they gave a perfect explanation for it, right? Because it's like they want you to be like coming up with, attacks, randomly, right, on the fly. So it's about improvising. It's not about, oh, I'm gonna just like spam all these like
It's strategizing.
villains. Yeah, it's a strategy game. So it's
It's
like,
it's different form of role playing, basically. Like
yeah,
like
I really don't understand the criticism of the card
I
system.
think it's I think it's because people don't want superhero games like with the car system. They want to be like,
No,
you
they
know,
want action adventures,
yeah.
super, which is like, yeah, that's fine, but it's like not every superhero game needs to be
I,
a action adventure game.
and we have that. And this Marvel has a lot of those games. They're like, you got Spider-Man. You got, you know what? The Marvel Heroes game is not around anymore. Marvel Heroes pretty much like that. I'm pretty sure since it's been canceled, the creators of the DC Universe Online was planning to make something similar to with Marvel to their
Yeah,
game. That's been canceled. I mean, I think it's still a possibility, like something that's going to happen. But
there's
relax.
a lot
Wait.
of the thing is there's a crap ton of Marvel games that are in development, like so many of
Yes.
them. Like there's two from EA, which I know people are lukewarm about EA. There's Skydance. Insomniac is working on a multiplayer Marvel game, right? There's probably going to be a bunch of other deals being made. Like
Hey,
I know Avengers was trash, but like there's still other stuff coming out.
here's the thing. People people put the Arkham Knights on the Arkham games, right, on a pedestal. Like those are the cream of the crop, like superhero games of the last pretty much decade. Besides Spider-Man, Spider-Man's like top tier up there too. But
Mhm.
here's the thing: they haven't really expanded the DC video games until now. Suicide Squad.
Yeah, Suicide Squad, Wonder Woman, Gotham
Yeah,
Knights.
yeah.
I mean
So
DC, and then there's Injustice too.
Marvel is doing a better job at it right now because they're spending to everything now.
Yeah, yeah, because now they're like all hands on deck. While Warner Brothers, they have their own, division of publishing. So it's like they're kind of like dragging their feet now,
Yeah,
which I think that's not what they originally were doing. Because if you think about it, there was more DC games that we knew like last year than Marvel games. And now there's
yes.
like a bunch of Marvel games that we know about.
All we know is about basically the Wonder Woman game and the Gotham Knights game, the Justice League game. That's it.
Yeah, and
And
Suicide Squad.
and look, and I have no problem with those games, but people playing Superman. Like, where's
Yeah.
Superman? Superman deserves his own
Well,
game.
Superman, this is the thing. They canceled so many Superman
I
games, but I
know.
heard that that WB Montreal is working on a Superman game. Like that's their second project, but I
The
don't
Ark
know if we'll even see that.
the Arkham universe, which is mainly Batman, Superman's in it. Wonder Woman's in it. They're all
Yeah.
in it. It's not like Christopher Nolan's Dark Knight trilogy where there's no magical beings or super power beings. There is power beings in Arkham universe because Suicide Squad does take place in Arkham universe, and we know Superman's in the Justice League in it. But we also know that in Arkham Origins, no, Arkham Origins, Arkham City, the plan for waste with the Arkham City, how all one sector of the city was all the criminals could have it, and then the plan was for race, and who goes to race, to basically destroy that part to get rid of all the crime. They were planning to do that in Metropolis and other cities, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we know Santana is also in the Arkham universe. He's an art. She has posters all place Arkham Origins. So like, yeah, there's magical beings. There's aliens in the Arkham universe. So might as well seriously.
Yeah, I think if Wonder Woman is getting a game, then I definitely believe that they're working on a Superman game. Oh, but you're muted.
Okay, better.
Oh, back to being muted.
I'm curious about the Wonder Woman game because I know it's being the same developers as the Lord of the Rings ones.
Yes, the
Tales of War.
Shadow.
I don't
Yeah,
think.
the Mordor games.
Well, those games are good. They're great. But is Nemesis system of Wonder Woman?
I mean, it depends. Like on, I could see this game being like the first Wonder Woman movie, where it's like takes place in like World War One. I think that would kind of make sense because I can't really see them doing any other setting unless they want to do like her like kind of like a God of War where she's like exploring the Greek pantheons and stuff. I don't know. That seems derivative. Like we have God of War already, so I don't know. Just do the World War One with Wonder Woman. To be honest, that would be a
Or
cool
do
game.
World War Two, whatever.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter to me. Yeah.
I mean, the Nemesis system, are you going to force them to do stuff for you with the last old truth?
Oh, that would be a cool idea.
Well,
I could definitely see. Yeah, I could. They would have to do that.
this is
There's no way.
yeah, but yeah, Marvel does need to I have no problem with Marvel making another MMO game, whatever, a role playing game. I have no problem with that.
Mm.
They probably will in the future. But yeah, and you have you seen Sandman yet?
No, I haven't. I'm going to. I don't know when I'm
It's
gonna
good.
like sit down and watch it. Yeah, I
Like
heard
Doctor,
it was decent though.
yeah, Doctor Destiny's technically the guy who becomes Doctor Destiny's in it. I'll tell you one thing. It's 10 episodes. It's
Mm.
not like the first 5 episodes is like one arc, and the second last 5 episodes are like another arc.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So
like
is
the
it like
first,
two stories?
yeah, basically the first 5 episodes like basically Doctor Destiny or the guy who becomes eventually Doctor Destiny, and the last five is about a vortex, a dream vortex. Right. I don't know.
Okay.
I know you read this. You read the Sandman
I
comics,
I
right?
actually have never read Sandman.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
that's like the one
hmm.
comic from Vertigo I've never read.
The question is, I don't know how Sandman. I know in the DC universe, he's met with some of the DC heroes and stuff, but
Mm.
I don't know how Sandman will work. Like this Sandman, for example, Doctor Destiny is in. I'm sorry if I spoil this for people. I'm sorry if I spoil. Doctor Destiny, right? The guy John Deeds, right?
Mm.
Was an Arkham Asylum patient, right? Was an Arkham in the comics. In this, he's not. He's in a mental institute, but not an Arkham because I think they want to get away. They don't want the
Yeah.
Batman stuff to be involved. So he's in an
Well, I
institute.
think they didn't want anything DC related
They
because
have
they
some. They have
Genter
some.
Ben.
They have some DC related stuff. Easter
Oh,
eggs.
they do. Okay.
Yes.
Oh, but
Yes.
like East, is it like actually related to the plot though?
No.
Oh, okay.
You see like in a one episode 7 or 8, you see like a picture of Pied Piper, Captain Cold.
Mm, okay.
But yeah, I think, but nothing major. There's no mention of Batman. There's no mention of Gotham. There's no mention of
And
Metropolis,
Constantine, they Genter Ben Constantine.
and if they gender bent Lucifer too,
Oh wow. Okay.
because I think Lucifer's. I think they did it on purpose because Tom Alice's Lucifer is basically based off the Sandman Lucifer, right? But
Hmm.
they kind of changed it for the show, right? They changed it
Yeah,
for
I
the
think they just didn't want to like confuse
yeah,
people. Yeah.
because
So
Tom,
they're like, just do it.
as much as people love Tom Alice's Lucifer, well, he's based off some of the comics. He decides to open up his own bar. Doesn't want to control hell anymore. becomes like so appreciative of humanity. Lucifer in reading the Sandman stuff, he doesn't really like humans all that much,
Mm.
right? So they wanted to change that. Like Constantine, yeah, Constantine's and you know what? They are still planning like the DC stuff. It's not a crisis stuff, but it looks like they're still planning a Santana stuff. Madam is what's her name? Madam Izadu, whatever is Zandu.
Well, apparently there's well, they have the Zatanna project still, the
Yeah.
Constantine project. They never said anything about the Justice League Dark project. I don't even know if that was like officially announced, but then they said that they were scaling back on like Static Shock, the Green Lantern movie, which that was already confusing because I was like, so they had a Green Lantern movie and then they're gonna have the TV show.
Yeah.
Why? Like I don't understand what's the point of that. Like
Yeah.
so were you going to have like lesser known characters be in the TV show, or was like because I think who was telling me that it wasn't connected? I think it was Degrassi was telling me on Twitter that it wasn't connected, and I was like, oh really?
All I
I'm like,
know
that's stupid. Why would they do that?
all I know is Guy Gardner, Alan Scott, and I think Jessica Cruz might be in the show. But I don't think Jessica Cruz is
Yeah, but it's
cast
not.
yet.
But it's not connected
Yeah.
to the
No.
DC universe. So the movie was going to be connected to the DC universe, but
Yeah.
then they were going to have Hal Jordan, John Stewart, Kyle Rayner, I'm guessing. That would just be so confusing though. So like the Green Lantern show is going to be like I'm going to guess like CWE,
And now
but with like a higher budget.
we're
That's what
getting
I'm
like
going to guess.
we're getting an update on Black Canary. I think Black Canary is gonna become a theatrical release now. I don't think it's gonna be a show.
Oh wow.
Because why would I it could be a show, but they could put money into it. But I think Black Canary as a theatrical release is a good idea. You can introduce Green Arrow. I do think they need to introduce Green Arrow eventually.
Yeah, definitely. I'm surprised they haven't
But
like
yeah,
recast him after Arrow finished,
no,
because that was the reason why he never appeared in the DC universe or the movie side.
I want Charlie Hunnam to be Green Arrow.
Mm.
I mean, let's be honest. He none of his movies has been in has been like a hit. So
Hmm. Yeah, I mean he's everybody's like go-to choice.
because you know
He's not
why?
doing much too.
Because you know why? Because his character Jax looks like Oliver Queen a bit.
Yeah.
I mean, if you really think about it, Stephen Amell's Arrow, he doesn't look like Oliver Queen. Why? Because he doesn't have the facial hair, right?
Hmm.
Neither did the one in Smallville. He didn't have facial hair.
Yeah, he didn't. He didn't. I think they always see it as like it's like too corny or something.
Yeah, but it's a hero movie, like a superhero movie.
Yeah.
It's not like stupid to have corny stuff in it. Like, who cares?
But you know how like for some reason it's like so hard for Hollywood to like adapt a comic book because they're like, oh, it's so corny and it's like,
Marvel does it all the time.
yeah, I know. Marvel does it all the time, but it's still corny. Like
Marvel
even
doesn't fit
Marvel.
fast, right? They gotta fit fast.
Well, even Marvel has they sometimes they're like, oh, this is like too corny, and then eventually they do it anyway. Like you remember
Depends.
what Kevin Feige said about the goats,
Yeah.
the chariot. He's like, oh, I didn't want it in the first Thor movie, and then they just put it in Thor 4 anyway. So it was like a
I
decade
know.
later they
You
did
know
the
what?
corny thing.
You know what? Kevin Feige was right though. We should have never had it.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. I agree. But I mean, like that just shows you it's like, you know, like whatever they think is corny, they'll eventually put it in the movie, and then it's like, oh, people like it, and it's like
I hated it.
it was annoying. It was really stupid. I think
Yeah.
that was like the worst part of the movie. That and Cord, but
And now
that's here
everybody's
nor there.
canceled. Now people are gonna cancel Taika Waititi because of a tweet that's been pulled up like 9 years ago.
Yeah, like it's just so you know how Twitter is. It's just
Yeah.
ridiculous sometimes.
Because people did like the movie. A lot of people did like the movie, and some people take it too far. Oh, let's swap his tweet. They did this actually with James Gunn. I mean,
Yeah, I'm
they take it too
like, why
personal.
care though? Yeah,
two people.
like you should be criticizing him when he said, "Oh, I didn't know who Hercules was." I think that's more of a better criticism because it's like,
Yes.
yeah, he's in the movie and you didn't bother searching the character. Like he's like, I didn't even know he was a Marvel character. And I was like, you didn't even Google search him? It's like, what the hell? This is ridiculous.
Yeah, like Kevin Feige usually like he gives the whatever he gives the cast and crew whatever usually like source material to search up with the character, but some
Mm,
basically gotta do it upon themselves and like that's terrible. I'm sorry. Like
yeah, it is terrible. If you're running a studio that's all about comic adaptations,
yeah,
why not read the source material? Like, I think this is one of the dumbest talking points on Twitter where people are like defending hardcore. Oh, creators shouldn't like read the source material. It's like, why are you adapting it then? Like,
yeah.
like what the hell? It's just so stupid.
You could tell. You
Like,
could tell. You could tell the contrast of Matt Reeves' Batman. He knows the source material.
yeah, he's the. Have you noticed how Matt Reeves is the only major director to actually be promoting comic books?
Yeah,
They actually
James Gunn.
sell.
James Gunn knows source material too.
Yes, James Gunn too. James Gunn too. To be fair, yeah, but like he they actually came out with like a bundle that was promoted like with the Batman, where it's like, hey, these are the comics that inspired the movie. Where do you see Marvel doing that? Marvel has never done that. It's
No,
just insane. It's I don't get it. I really don't understand.
because they probably only give him like a graphic novel and that's it. Here,
Yeah,
read this.
but they don't even put it. It's not even like here's like the comics that inspired Thor: Love and Thunder, and they like sell it. You know what I mean? Like
Well,
that would be interesting.
because technically Gore was never like Thor: Love and Thunder was never inspired by Gore at all.
Yeah, but it's like you guys, it's like at least have like mention, hey, this is like the comic that we're adapting or that we're using, right? Instead of it just being like, oh, we, you know, they talk about it for like 5 minutes in some stupid article, and then people on Twitter are like, oh, this comic, yeah, I'm gonna go read it. It's like, oh man, it's just ridiculous to me.
Yeah, it is. I mean, you could tell with some. You could tell. And that's the thing with
Oh,
Sorry,
you're muted.
I know that's the thing I find with a lot of the Disney Plus shows too. I think I know a lot of people like WandaVision. I liked it a bit, but there's some. I know why a lot of people want Mephisto in it because in the
Mm,
comics, Mephisto is the one who took away her children, right?
mm.
Right? Because of the stuff like that. And that's why I thought Mephisto's going to be in it. I'm like, nah, they're not going to introduce Mephisto in WandaVision. If they wanted to introduce Mephisto, it'd be more like if they introduced Ghost Rider or something like that.
Yeah.
Like,
Or maybe I still have the belief that I mean, well, they haven't released a movie in China, so because I was always saying, oh, they wouldn't put him in a movie because of China, right?
who cares about China?
Yeah, but now what? There's been like
I'm sorry,
five
Chinese
Marvel
people.
movies
Yeah, I'm
that have
sorry.
never been released in China, so
I'm not.
who
I'm not.
cares?
I'm not here. I'm sorry if you're listening from China. I'm not debunking on the people that want to see the movies. I'm debunking the government.
No, man. If they can't even listen to that.
Yeah, I know. Oh, sorry.
Just saying it,
China's gonna go after me now.
they would be like, "Fuck, we're gonna hunt you down."
I saw nobody from Multiverse of Madness. Um, nobody from the cast or crew say anything about China banning the movie because of American Chavez's parents. Nobody.
But I mean, it never. That's the thing. China just stopped releasing Marvel movies.
I know.
Like ever since Black Widow, they haven't released it. So it's like they're never gonna have a Marvel movie again.
I mean, yeah, I want to be such some Middle Eastern countries do the exact same thing.
Yeah, because it's like if you're not even gonna release Spider Man,
Oh,
the biggest movie, during the pandemic, then yeah, then they're
well,
never gonna
well,
release a
I'll give.
Marvel movie.
It's not, but China did go into a lockdown. I don't even know if they're still in a lockdown, but they did go into a lockdown from like February and March, right?
Yeah,
I don't know if they're still in one.
I don't know. I don't even know, but still, it's been like a whole year. I don't. Did Top Gun even release in China?
I don't know. I don't know what
I,
movies
I
released in China.
I don't think any American movie released in China then, like since the pandemic. Oh, Fast and the Furious 9. But then they had that big controversy. So it's like I don't even know. They're not they're it's definitely going to be hard for them to make a billion. Like it's got to be like Spider-Man levels.
Yeah, a lot of the movies that came out this year, like Multiverse of Madness, just barely made under a billion. If that was
Mhm.
released in China, it made a billion. Batman would
It
not
would have
make a
been over a
billion.
billion.
Yeah, over a billion. If Batman was now released in if Batman was released in China, it would definitely be over 800 million, maybe
Mhm.
800 to 900 million in that range. Uh, and there's all these people, all this Netherverse people are like, oh look, Batman didn't make as much money, and they don't put in the reasons why I didn't make it.
Yeah.
Reasons like to forget what the hell's going on. Like I don't know, a pandemic in China's lockdown when Batman came out.
And I would say that it is a new Batman.
Yeah,
I would still factor that in.
but I'll tell you one thing: if Batman Two is Batman Two, if it makes Batman Two, if it makes the same amount as this Batman, I'll say that's a disappointment.
Yes. Yeah, I would agree. It has to make at least more.
Yeah, I mean at least 900 to a billion. Look, I'm telling you, like you could every Marvel movie out there. Marvel's doing a great job. But Batman is Batman. The only one that can compete with Batman is probably Spider-Man and the Avengers
Yeah.
movies.
Yeah, definitely.
And if you make
I
a
mean,
good
even
Justice League,
even
go ahead.
even the Avengers, I think I would put money that Avengers is not going to cross 2 billion. I think it's probably going to make a little bit more than Spider-Man No Way Home.
Yeah, yeah. And if even if a Justice League, if you put out a good Justice League movie, a good Justice League movie could make more money than Avengers movie.
Possibly. I don't even
Yeah,
know if I could put money on that.
yeah. But they have to rebuild the brand of Superman in order to do that.
Yeah. They
Because
have to do a lot of rebuilding.
yes, because Batman is fine. Batman is fine, man. Like
Mhm.
Batman's like he's very well protected. Batman's like a very well protected character. Same as Spider-Man. I think those are the two most safest comic book characters where you could damage them, but it won't really affect them.
Possibly. I mean, they would have to have like 3 movies in a row that are terrible for it to be like destroyed.
And Spider-Man never had that. Spider-Man had Spider-Man
No.
3, but Amazing Spider-Man was very good. And you could debate on Spider-Man 2, but yeah, you're Amazing Spider-Man 2,
Yeah,
but yeah.
Spider-Man 2 didn't do well.
Mhm.
I think anywhere. That's why they went to Marvel. I mean to like Disney.
Oh yeah. Yeah. But yeah. I mean, because look, I said 2017, oh, Justice League is going to make more money than Avengers. I
Yeah.
was
I
wrong.
think it could have made um probably the same amount as like Age of Ultron if Batman versus Superman
Age,
was actually good.
Age of Ultron could have been that Justice League movie. That could have changed the trajectory of the MCU.
Yeah. I
Because
get
it was not a good movie.
it was not a good movie, but it still made a lot of money.
I know. But
Yeah.
that could have changed everything. And no, and I even said, oh, I was so when BVS before BVS came out, I'm like to my friends, to my cousins, and stuff like that. I'm like, oh yeah, BVS is gonna make more money in Civil War.
Yeah, I think everybody thought that. I think even Marvel thought that.
Yeah, and it was going to right in the first week.
Yeah, it
Four
was
hundred million.
that movie had such bad word of mouth. I'm surprised they even released that movie. Like, how did they? It makes me wonder if the theatrical cut, like, did they actually test out with audiences? Because I can't really see that even being a possibility. I think they edited it last minute and put it out there.
Oh, cause the theatrical cut, if they released that in theaters instead, was only like 45 minutes extra, right?
The it wasn't the
Over.
director's cut. What is it
Oh,
called? The ultimate cut or
yeah,
whatever?
ultimate cut. Yeah, I'm like,
Yeah.
why did they release that? I made it so. If they released that, it would have done much better.
Yes. I
Cause
agree. I think it would have had a better reception.
yeah, because there was a lot of holes. There was a lot of holes that the ultimate cut explained.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, this movie's gonna make more money than Civil War. And look, Civil War is a much better movie.
Mm.
It was
Yeah, it did better. Yeah.
Civil War.
I personally I was never like a fan of Civil War. I thought it just like it I think it started the trend of like these movies now becoming like crossovers instead of like solo
Yes, it
stories.
was the first one, really.
Yeah. That's like my biggest gripe about it. It doesn't really feel like
I
a
mean,
Captain America story. It feels like a Captain America
if,
story that
it
so
wasn't Captain
happened.
America, so it was
No.
Avengers 2.5.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I just don't like about the movie. Cause the Winter Soldier was like had a very good like hook for a sequel, like him trying to find Bucky and stuff. And on top of that too, there was a lot more stuff you could have
You
done with
know, I,
Hydra.
I have a gripe about the Civil War. You know how Zemo framed Bucky for the bombing? Why
Yeah.
can't you just scan in into the video and see who he really looks like under the mask?
Yeah, they could have. Yeah.
I mean, look, that's why I say Batman would be the smartest Avenger out there because Batman would have done that.
Yeah, they just Zemo. That's another thing I don't like about Civil War is like they shoehorn in Zemo. Why? It's like they knew. Like I have this thing with Disney and Marvel where it's like they can never have the characters be like in conflict with each other. Like there's always got to be like, oh, like there's some possession or there's like someone else that's like more evil. Like they did this with Moon Knight, where it's like they try to like villainize Mark Spector because he's not like a traditional Marvel character. So he doesn't get the spotlight, even though he's the main character. It
Yeah,
was like really bizarre, and it's like only like in the later episodes they start focusing on Mark, and it's like,
yeah,
what
fifth
the hell?
episode.
Yeah, it was so weird. I don't know why they do that. Where it's like it's like they can never have a character that's like morally gray. Like they can
No,
never have Captain America and Iron Man just fight because they disagree. There's always got to be there's
a
a villain
reason.
that's like yeah, it's just dumb in my opinion. It's like come on.
See, like that's why I think Batman would be the. You said in my last stream, Batman is more of a Marvel character because I think if he's the
Yeah,
MCU, Batman would be the most logical MCU hero there is.
yeah. He's more grounded, a more
Yeah,
grounded character,
you
and
know
more
what? If he would,
relatable.
because I know for a fact he would never join Avengers.
No, I don't think he would.
Because if he was a Civil War, you know what? He would call both Tony Stark and Steve Rogers both fucking idiots.
Hmm.
He called
I
both.
think that someone should do something like that because it'd be very interesting. Because I
Yeah,
don't think you would want to be on the Avengers because the
no,
Avengers is very different from the Justice League. They're
and yeah,
it's very different.
and Batman would make sure to tell the Avengers, be like, you guys got invaded, but basically invaded in New York with Loki and Thanos' army. Batman would make sure something like that would never happen again.
Yeah, I mean, he would probably do the what Tony Stark was doing, but better
Yeah, he made sure that AI had a virus involved. Something goes wrong. I mean, he kind of
or
does in the
defense
comics.
system.
He kind of does something in the comics of Brother Eye, right?
Mm,
Right? Like, remember I think that was after when Santana wiped his mind and stuff. He started to have a mistrust in metahumans, so he had to create the Brother
hmm
Eye just to keep watch. And obviously, that got taken over by like Maxwell Lord. You know, the whole OMAC stuff's happened, right?
hmm
But yeah, Batman would be like. But I think Batman would be like, if he was Avenger, Batman would probably be like, he would have some good relations with some people, but he would look at them and say, "You guys are seeing especially Civil War, would be like, you're seeing what the repercussions of this stuff is going to do to the team."
Yeah, definitely.
Because he'd be on Captain America's side more, but he'd be tell Captain America and he'd tell Iron Man, "You guys, this is not safe for the world if you guys fight."
Mm,
Right? And he would have made sure he would have scanned in to make sure who if that really was Bucky or somebody else. Because he
mm.
does it all the time, right? He does it all the time.
Hold on, give me a second. Sorry, bro.
Okay. All right. But yeah. Yeah, Batman may seem arrogant, but he really isn't. Yeah, Batman Bill's he'll come back, guys. He'll be back in a minute.
Okay, I'm back.
So like look. Batman, like a lot of people think Batman Bruce Wayne is arrogant. You know what? He's the opposite. He's not cocky at all. Like Tony Stark is cocky.
Mhm.
Batman pretends to be.
Yeah, to some extent. Oh wait,
Yeah.
give me a second.
Okay. Do me a favor, new here, like, share, subscribe, comment below. Whatever. I'm not comment below. Comment on the side. And we do have some pictures here. Don't worry.
Give me like 5 minutes. You can
All
go on.
right.
I'll be listening. Sorry.
All right. Okay. Yeah. So we're having fun. Originally, guys, Hamada was gonna have Final Crisis, not Final Crisis, Crisis, not Final Crisis. That's a long way off. That would have been a long way off. That's the dark side. I know this is a Marvel stream, but you know what? They are slowing developments on some projects like Supergirl. I think the Superman one, the Static Shock. I know a lot of people like Static Shock, but I think Static Shock he should be a long way off. His show is popular, but like nobody really talks about him outside of his show. Honestly, what you do? I would use if you went. Like Static Shock is like what? I don't know. Nightwing, whatever. Yeah, the thing is, with Batman, I don't know, with Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, you build those franchises up again. I mean, Batman's fine. Batman has his own universe with Matt Reeves. And you know something? The graphic novel, there's a graphic novel before the Batman. It's a graphic novel. I'll tell you something. LexCorp is in the Bat Reeves universe. There's LexCorp. Yes, Metropolis is in that universe, and LexCorp is in that universe. The Robert Pattinson Batman, there is LexCorp. And yeah, so we'll talk to Marvel stuff when Blind Bill gets back, right? Because like stuff I know he wants to talk about Final Crisis, not Crisis, Final Crisis, but yes.
All right, I'm back. I'll deal with that a bit later.
Okay.
Trying to upload
Well,
something.
what I was saying is in the graphic novel before like the actual Batman movie, LexCorp apparently is in the Matt Reeves universe.
Oh, where was this? In the
prequel to the Batman movie. The graphic novel that leads to the Batman movie.
Oh yeah, I still haven't even seen that graphic novel.
Yeah. I heard LexCorp and Metropolis is in that universe.
Interesting.
Yeah. So that might be a sign. Like, we'll see, right? Because we know Wither's getting its own graphic novel too. After.
Yeah.
Or is it before?
I haven't heard about this prequel comic. Like I've only heard about the Riddler one, so that's why I was like a little bit confused.
I haven't either till a couple weeks ago. Arkham Gaming's heard of it. Arkham.
Yeah, Arkham is the one that was talking about it, and I was like, I never heard of it.
See, you know what this this is in the movie. That's not the first time Bruce and Edward met.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, they say that about in that Riddler comic.
Yeah,
but I didn't even know that there was another comic related. So I'm gonna have to, because do you even know what the name is?
I think it's called Before the Batman. Let me check.
Oh, okay.
It was on Amazon. Let me make sure. Yeah, I think it's called Before the Batman.
Mm. And it's already released. When
Yeah.
did it come out?
I'm not sure when it came out. I'm not sure if it came out this year or last year. You know what? If you get in touch with Arkham, ask him. He
Mm.
knows more about it.
Yeah, I'm gonna Google it too since I know the title now. The Before the Batman.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds like I always thought they should do more of that. Like the MCU doesn't do that either, which is weird. I think maybe it's just for like continuity's sake, but why not
Yeah.
make
Look at
comics within the universe?
look at Thor Thunder. We didn't know like Jane and Thor actually tried to have a relationship.
Yeah.
Like they shoehorn
Like you can have smaller adventures, right? Like
yeah, but you know the
and
MCU.
and
Look.
I
They
don't
like
know.
they like to divide. They like to step away from that kind of stuff. They don't want to put the stuff in comics or graphic novels or anything like that. It's like
It would be so much like you could do even if it's not like a ongoing series, like you can at least do like a graphic novel.
that's
And
that's
it's
why that's why the timeline stuff is so confusing with the MCU.
well, like just like okay, like let's say if James Gunn's like, hey, I want to do like a prequel comic or something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like just let him do it. Like who
Well, get
cares?
somebody to do yeah, because like the timeline in MCU is like especially phase four. I know it's all after Thanos, and we know just Black Widow, but we don't know like they don't really do specifically tell you when happens all the
Yeah, like
time.
it would have been cool if we saw what was going on um during the snap, right?
Yeah,
Or
or
the
something like that.
blimp.
Mm-hmm. It's funny. It's funny. 2023 was everybody came back and we're almost there.
Yeah, I know.
like like Hawkeye, wasn't that like a 2024, 2025 that show? If I remember
Yeah, I
right.
think it was 24, I think.
So the next time I think it's Christmas 2024. So next time we see Hawkeye, we have to be like into another movie or show, whatever. We have to
Mm,
like that'll probably be like phase 5 or 6 because we have to get to there, right? Or something like that. I don't know.
mm.
It's I know on Disney Plus they have all the they have the phase one, phase two, phase three, but they also have chronological order, like the timeline on Disney Plus that each movie and show goes into.
Mm.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
they I mean they order it on Disney Plus though.
yeah, they do. Yeah. Let's get into speaking of Marvel, let's get into it, and we could talk about Crisis a little bit more after, if you want.
Mm.
So we got Ironheart, played by I don't know the actress name, but I know it's Riri Williams, who's gonna be Ironheart, and this is her suit. Well, this is her final suit because she's gonna have 2 or 3 suits in the show. She'll probably have a
Hmm.
suit in the movie Wakanda Forever, but it's probably like a prototype, and I don't think she's gonna do much in the suit anyway in the that
Yeah.
trailer. So what do you think
I
of it?
don't
I
even
actually think
think
it
she's
looks.
gonna.
I think it looks better in War Machine suit, honestly.
Yeah, the suit. I mean, it's not her suit exactly
You know,
from the comic, like when she originally started off, which was
mhm.
like a. I can't remember. It was like a green kind of like gray looking suit. But I don't know. I've said before that I'm not like a big fan of Riri. I can't even say her name. Jesus,
Riri.
Riri. I'm gonna like I'm about to say Re, and then like oh my god.
You
But
about
you
to say
know,
Reed
okay,
Richards?
Ironheart.
Uh,
Jesus. Like I'm not like a too big of a fan of her because I feel like she was just like a Miles Morales clone that was not like really well written or
oh man,
integrated.
that's what they're doing, right? Basically, they're gonna introduce young Avengers.
Yeah, but like because this was Brian Michael Bendis's character that he created, right? Because he was like, oh, Miles was successful, so like let's just make a character like Miles, but for Iron Man, and it just didn't really work. And like, and she came around like Civil War Two, and Civil War Two was absolute garbage. One of the worst, I think it was one of the worst not runs, but like event that Marvel has put out um recently. I would say because it was just
Oh
so bad.
yeah, the suit does look really good. I mean, it's the third suit. It's we'll see it. Like she's gonna be Black Panther. How they're gonna introduce her, I don't know. What they're gonna do, like
Mhm.
where she's a what is she a Massachusetts Tech student.
Yeah, she
Okay,
goes to
that's
MIT.
yeah,
Yeah,
MIT. Yeah, okay. That's even harder to get in than Harvard, apparently.
yeah. Like
And
because she's supposed to be this like really genius level um right, and so she built her own
I,
Iron Man
I'll say,
suit and did all this stuff.
I'm gonna say this: almost everybody in Marvel is a genius in their own way.
Yeah, it won't. That's how they frame it.
Yeah,
I, I'm just like I don't really know what they're gonna do with this show, and I'm not like that interested in it. Just because, like I said, like I always thought the character was like such a poor man's Miles Morales. Like it just wasn't done well.
no, yeah,
It
Miles
was
Morales.
not as compelling as Miles Morales. No.
But they have to because they have to continue the Iron Man tradition. Have the
Yeah.
right. That's
They
the
yeah,
reason.
they need like a young Iron Man character, so it's like just do Ironheart.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's why I think Morgan Stark is not going to do anything in the MCU. Period.
Yo, yeah, she's definitely not going to.
And she's
Maybe
still
she might
young,
come
right?
back.
She's
Yeah,
she was like 5 or 6 in Endgame. She was still really young.
yeah, she was.
Like I don't know what's to take place. Maybe 2000. Like, look, the MCU, before the snap was taking simultaneously with our timeline in real life. The snap fast
Mhm.
forward at 2023, so the timeline with it's not simultaneously with our life anymore, right? Well, it could be
It
now.
might catch up eventually.
Yeah, it is pretty much catching up, except for Hawkeye. Hawkeye took, yeah, but yeah, Morgan Stark is probably like now it's probably like 7 or 8. That's it. Like she's
Yeah.
not ready for that stuff. Like until she's probably teenager age, right? Like how old is Kamala Khan? 16 or 17? 15, 16, 17?
Yeah, I think she's like 16.
And Spider-Man was like
Spider-Man is now by the time he comes back, he's going to be at least 20.
yeah, he was basically a senior in high school in No Way Home, right? That's
Yeah.
last year. Because they were and
And then on top of that too,
and
he got
Kate is like in
snapped.
his Casey University. Yeah, yeah. Technically, she should have been in university by now, but like, yeah, they did kind of. Yeah, everybody got snapped. Missed 5 years of their life, basically.
Yeah.
They
Like
can be
Spider-Man
older
would
than
have
what
been
they are.
much older. Yeah.
He been in university. Been in university.
He would have been past
Technically,
university.
and Kate. Oh, maybe yeah. Kate right now is what? Kate's like 23, 22, because she's in university,
Yeah.
right?
So she would technically be younger than Peter Parker, no?
Yeah,
By just like a few
and
years.
Williams, if they stay true to the origin, she's in university too. If they stay
Yeah,
true to the
she's
origin,
university. Yeah. She has to be
see
like
that's why
18, 19.
Morgan Stark doesn't work, but Ant-Man's daughter works. And
Yeah,
she did not
because
get snapped.
she was already.
Yeah.
Well, how old would actually she be? She would be like 18, no? Or like.
She was pretty a young teen in Endgame, wasn't she?
Yeah,
She wasn't a child anymore.
no. But that part was also kind of weird too, because it was like she was like a really young kid in Ant-Man 2, which
Yeah.
takes place right after or like in between Infinity War, so
Yeah,
I don't know how that works.
Yeah, the snap happened because everybody besides him got snapped because he went into the quantum realm, right? Like, simultaneously, the same time as Infinity War, basically,
Mm.
right? He was under House Watch or anything. That's why, yeah, and so yeah, and Yelena is probably look. I don't know how old Yelena is.
She's probably mid-20s.
She's Thunderbolt for sure. She's not going to be a young.
Yeah, she's not going to be on Young Avengers. No, there's certain characters like I wouldn't put on the Young Avengers, like Spider-Man. Like no.
No.
I mean, when are they even? By the time they even get to Young Avengers, are they even going to be young? Like, half of these people are already cast, and they're like probably going to be in their 20s by the time they do Young Avengers.
People give shit for Batman training Robins at a young age.
Yeah, because remember they have Patriot already, and he's like, when are we going to see his character again? Captain America 4,
New World
maybe.
Order. And so yeah, so really, let's have our own show, and we know our villain's going to be the Hood, magical gangster. I call him a magical gangster because that's what he is. He's a magical gangster. He's a crime boss, but he uses magic.
Hmm.
And yeah, how do you think he looks? He looks good.
Uh, I mean, it's the hood. He's just got a hood. I mean, it's like all of this. Like I said, I don't know much about the character, and the characters never interested me. So I'm like,
Yeah,
having the hood was like kind of random. Like I don't know if that was a thing in her comic, but
it's Tony. Basically, he's Tony Stark's villain.
yeah.
And
But I mean, he never appeared in her comic.
no, no,
No. Okay.
because he can't face Tony Stark if he's dead.
Yeah. Okay.
Basically,
I'm not like, I don't know. I don't even know if I will watch this, to be honest. Like I'm at that point with Marvel where I'm like, I might just skip on things because it's not as interesting. Like I don't know. They're getting to the point where they're like, do we really need an Ironheart series? Like I would have taken Agents of Wakanda and she shows up. That sounds a lot more interesting. Like that's the stuff I've been seeing with her character in the comics, and it's like that actually makes more sense. And I think that's more of a modern approach than making her adjacent to Iron Man. Especially if she had like, especially in the comic, right? Because in the comic, she really doesn't have any connection with Tony Stark. It's only like later on, right? And it just seems really random where it's like, okay, you're trying to make this like Miles, but Miles had like Spider-Man is not like Iron Man, right? I think that's another thing that gets a little bit confusing about the MCU is because like people will look up to certain characters, but I always felt like more characters were more favorable.
Miles. The thing
You
is,
know what
to
I mean?
me, they've introduced Kamala Khan, Andrew Williams, all that. But the thing is, I don't know if they can introduce Miles because Peter is still relatively young.
Sure, but I mean, like you can do what the Spider-Man game did.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah, he was probably like maybe mid-20s to late 30s at least.
Yeah, and he's just like a mentor,
Yeah,
and Miles just happens to get bitten by the spider.
yeah. But yeah, so yeah, we got the Hood's magical villain. It's just basically science versus magic, right? Who wins?
Mm.
And some people tell you magic is just a different form of science.
Yeah,
Batman.
this is another thing too that I'm like this whole the magic versus science, because that to me sounded like the Jason Aaron Doctor Strange run, where it was like Doctor Strange was like fighting these like aliens that were like super high tech or something like that. So it was like, um, I don't know. I've never felt like, do you really need to put that in like an Iron Man kind of story? Eh, I don't know. It just I'm not like compelled by any of this so far. Like this
No.
all to me sounds like, okay, this is something that I'm definitely gonna skip because there's nothing really that intriguing to me. Like I don't even really know what the story is gonna even be about. You know what I mean? And I'm not compelled to really go read her comics. It's not like Miss Marvel. Like I thought the Miss Marvel comics were actually well written, right? And they're like, hey, she's like teaming up with all these different characters, right? Wolverine, obviously the stuff with the Inhumans, but like really, I'm just gonna call her Ironheart because I cannot fucking pronounce her name. My God. But Ironheart is like a character where you're like, what do you do with her? And they figured out what to do with it, but the show is not doing that. So it's like I'm not that interested.
Yo, yeah. So also you got Kingpin look like it's gonna be back in Echo. And
Yeah.
this is him in his white shirt, classical. He actually looked bigger. So I wonder if it's a flashback pick because in this episode of Hawkeye, she shoots him, right? And no,
Hmm.
we know Kingpin is not dead, but in the comics,
No.
when she shoots him, takes out his eyes. So I think those are flashback picks.
Yeah, I think this is flashback. I heard that this was a flashback
Yeah,
because it has like some fight scene and there's like him with a little girl, so I'm assuming that's Echo.
I wonder. I wonder if he was if he's if he's a mutant in the MCU, because if he gets
Oh
bigger,
no! Oh, please
because
no!
of his because of his size, like how does he become that big and that
I mean,
strong?
there's bodybuilders that are
No,
massive, and but Vincent D'Onofrio is not even that big.
no,
He's
no.
not that big to be the classic Kingpin, because like he has to be at least like 6'4", and then on top of that too, he has to be massive.
But how
Like
did
I
King?
don't think anybody's gonna do that
Yeah, but the
unless
thing
it's like a
is,
fat suit.
yeah, that's true. But we know in Hawkeye he's kind of depowered, right? Even though he's still very durable, he's still a little bit depowered,
Mm,
right?
yeah,
But obviously he's gonna be back. But they're setting up the Kingpin are setting up for the Daredevil series, obviously. Like,
yeah. This show also seems like set up for Daredevil.
yeah, it's pretty
Because
much.
like I'm even surprised that they even bothered making an Echo series. Because it's
Yeah,
like, what has the Echo really done in the comics? She's always been this character that like floats around where like they don't know what to do with her. It's like, okay, we like ran out of ideas in terms of like her story with Daredevil, right? And so then all of a sudden now she was like with Moon Knight, and I was like a mess. And then that was, well, that's like what, late 2000s. That was Michael Bendis, but now she has like the Phoenix Force, and you're like, oh my god, they don't really know what to do with this character. So I don't,
they're
I don't, I don't know.
they're explaining her background, right? How her Native American heritage comes into play, right? That's what they said. It's like, well,
Sure, but it's not as explored in the
no.
comics.
Well, as the MCU does, man, they try to build up these characters to be mainstream. I don't think I don't think it
Sure,
works all.
yeah.
It doesn't work all the time. But
It's just
yeah,
that like this whole lineup of Phase 5 for the shows at least are kind of like worse than the Phase 4 lineup. Besides Daredevil,
but yeah, Echo, Agatha. What's the other ones? Ironheart.
yeah, they all seem like really like spin-off. Like the characters who were spin-off in Phase 4 were at least characters that people liked and already had like an attachment to, right? So like you couldn't really complain there. But now it's like, now I'm like, I don't really have an attachment to
That's
Ironheart just yet.
maybe that's why they're
Like
trying to introduce her in Black Panther.
sure, but it's like I have to like
Oh
see
no.
her in like a couple more things before you could do that. And like unless it, I mean, you could just introduce her right off the rip, but I don't know. I think when they introduce certain characters, it always like it seems to like fumble really badly, especially with Moon Knight. I know people like Miss Marvel, but I haven't. I can't really say much about that.
No, and my problem
I
with Miss Marvel is she learned her abilities so quickly. Like how they could. I. That's the problem with Marvel shows. When you become a hero, you become a new hero and
mm,
become these abilities, you learn so quickly in 6 episodes. It's,
yeah.
to me, to me, I don't like that. I want character development, like when it takes longer to learn all this stuff.
Well, I want these shows to be TV shows because
Yeah,
if you've seen the writer of The Boys, he was criticizing Marvel and also Star Wars, I guess. But he was saying that, these are like glorified movies, and I agree. And they're really bad movies, to be honest,
because
because
it's like 6 episodes.
yeah, it's just so stupid to put out like you're making a TV series, like write it as a TV series. You know what I mean? Like have hooks with different with the episodes and stuff. Like why did it got to be this like really crappy miniseries? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. I've been really like kind of jaded about Marvel, so sorry if I sound like
Um,
a poo poo here.
Look,
Here,
I'll tell you one thing: the Disney shows are not the best. Are not the best written shows. Marvel or Star Wars.
no,
HBO, and I'll say this: a lot of people give a crap on Netflix, but Netflix has better written shows.
yes, that's not even like debatable.
No.
Like the Disney shows are like trying so hard to be like the movies because it was like different for a time, right? But now like we've kind of seen what they're doing, and they're not really offering anything compelling. Like it's not like we're getting like these really cool action sequences.
I think Disney just gets too much into the fan service, into the fans. The fans want
Yeah.
this. Disney gets look. We're fans. We want something. We want to see something, but make it interesting. Disney Disney
Tell a
Lucas.
story.
Yeah, yeah. It's about Disney. It's all about like Zazoff. I think you know what Zazoff. He said a 10-year plan. I think secretly he kind of whipped Disney there. He praised them,
Mm,
but he kind of ripped them there, saying we want quality over quantity. I think that's a shot at Disney, even though he praises Feige's plan. Because Feige's not about quality. I'm sorry, the MCU is not about. It
no.
used, I say at one point it used to be.
Yeah, I would say it used to be about quality, but I don't know what like it's definitely changed.
Yeah,
Because they have a formula where they're like, and I think too they're kind of like they think they're indestructible. I don't have any sports references, but like this would be a perfect sports reference
um,
because it's like they think they can win. Oh, they won all this shit, and so it's like, oh, we can do nothing wrong, and then you end up fumbling because you're so like arrogant. You know what I
yeah.
mean? Like,
Look at Thor Thunder for example. Like that. Okay, it's a Marvel movie, right? It was meant for kids, but why would they talk about orgies and stuff like that for a kids movie?
it's a big expensive movie where everybody got paid a lot of money and they didn't give a shit if it was good or not. Because that's what it comes across as.
Mm-hmm. You know what? I mean, I'll say this. A lot of people give crap about DC movies, but the DC movies have better storytelling.
Yes.
And it's, I mean, not the Snyder stuff, but since then, like
But we've
Aquaman.
recently beginning, yeah, I'd say that they're more unique.
I mean,
Like
Wonder Woman
you
17 is a good start, so.
like they're more unique. If we were getting more the Batman and Peacemaker and things that were actually from the comics from them that were telling good stories, and yes, I would say that DC is better in terms of quality because it seems like they actually like, well, we have to see them actually care about the characters because they've been like obsessed about Batman, but it's like they actually put some effort into their lesser known characters or the characters that should be popular, right? Then yeah, I don't see why they wouldn't be able to compete with Marvel. And then people would be saying, "Oh, at least DC doesn't have this problem."
No, no.
Yeah, it's just yeah, I can't help but feel like the superhero fatigue is definitely a thing because we've been getting a lot of the same stuff from Marvel.
Marvel, they put out like almost 10 things a year, like 3 or 4 movies
Yeah,
and like 5 or 6 shows. I mean, I know the
it's gonna
VF.
bite them. It's
I
definitely
know.
gonna bite them.
I think it already is.
I think it's gonna get worse because so far, like if you think about it, right, Love and Thunder still made more than Thor Ragnarok, but it
Yes.
has a terrible word of mouth. So it makes me wonder, right, if it made more, right, than Thor Ragnarok and it had bad word of mouth, that means it probably could have made much more money if it had good word of mouth.
We'll see with Black Panther about Wakanda Forever because their trailer was like, that trailer, it made you feel.
The trailer was too good, even though like I really don't want to see the movie because of obviously they didn't
And I tell you,
how they're treating
if,
T'Challa.
if that movie is bad with the trailer like that, people will be very pissed off more than any other Marvel movie out there.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
you can
mean, they
ask
would deserve it. I think if it's a bad movie, even if it's a good movie, I still think people should
they have
criticize it. But if it's a bad movie, then people should just
they have
lambast it.
they have to hit on that movie more than any other MCU movie because of how that trailer was and how they respected Chadwick Boseman. Otherwise, that's going to turn a lot of MCU fans against them, and some are
Yeah,
already turning against them. That's
I'm already turned against them. I
I know you
really
are.
only have like a couple of stuff that I want to watch. Like I'm gonna watch She-Hulk because I like She-Hulk and the Hulk, but I'm still very skeptical of what they're gonna do with the Hulk in that show. And Black Panther, I said that I really have no interest in watching.
From the stuff
Uh,
I'm seeing about She-Hulk promoting and all that, it seems like they're very committed to her character.
Hopefully, but like
Yeah,
they seem like they're not so committed to Bruce Banner. That's
Oh
like
yeah.
been, I think, the biggest criticism of the MCU is like what they've done with the Hulk.
Yes. Yes. But yeah, let's go. What do you think of
And the
the
Hulk's my favorite character. Like,
You know what? I blame Universal, but they could with good writing. They could have done some stuff. Get around
yeah.
that. What do you think of the yellow suit?
I did like the yellow suit. I was kind of hoping that it was not a reskin, but it is a reskin. But
Hmm.
I guess it's not as bad. You know what I mean? Like it. I think it's gonna fit the show's tone better than if it was in a Daredevil show, right? So I don't. I'm not
Yeah,
like offended by
She-Hulk is
it.
a more lighter show
Yeah.
would be.
So he's going to be a more lighter version of the character, but we also like again, I'm hoping that this doesn't translate to a show. I mean, I don't see any reason why his show isn't a TVMA. I know all these people are saying, "Oh, it doesn't need to be TVMA." People want the Daredevil Netflix, which was TVMA. So
They're
I
not
don't
gonna get
really
that.
I mean, but at this point, why couldn't we get that? If you think about it, because it's not like Marvel has now set a precedent with that one, the Marvel Zombie show as being TVMA. So it's like, okay, if you're gonna put a Marvel Studios with characters that are,
I,
not
I think
TVMA, you
I
should at
personally think
least put Daredevil.
I personally think No Way ruined that. No Way Home ruined that.
I don't
So
know. I think people should. Again, I will say this. I'll keep saying this because now I'm like, I guess, MCU hater, but
the best you're gonna get is like Moon Knight violence.
if it's like Moon Knight violence, then that's lambasted. Okay, I'm saying a lambasted because that's not what people wanted. People wanted
No,
the Netflix Daredevil to return. Okay, Daredevil has had mature storylines. You could say, oh, they're like the equivalent of PG, a PG rating, but that doesn't matter, right? Because people want the Netflix Daredevil, that the quality, the storytelling, the character, the maturity. Yes, also the gore, right? People want that, so it's like you can't be like, oh, it's Marvel now and this is a different Daredevil when you pretty much are bringing back everybody from the Netflix show. You know what I mean? If it was a recast, then fine. But you're bringing back literally everybody from the show, except I guess the writers and stuff. The cast is coming back, right? So I don't know. I don't know. I'm very skeptical about that
yeah.
show.
So far we just know Kingpin and Charlie. Well, Vincent and Charlie is coming back, but it's pretty good chance that the others are coming back too. We
Yeah,
haven't heard anything from Deborah. Is it Deborah or Deborah? And
yeah. I'm pretty sure she's gonna come back. Like Foggy
okay.
and Karen are definitely gonna come back. It's more so like, okay, are they
Oh,
gonna bring back Bullseye, the guy who played
or
Bullseye, or
Electra.
Electra? Yeah, like those are the ones where I'm not like too sure about.
Yeah, yeah, that's definitely. And I mean, what do you think of the? You think Rosario Dawson knows that Punisher's coming back, or
No, I think it was like confirmed that it was a mistake that she just read it on Twitter because you know those fake Marvel. There was like a fake Marvel account that was like saying, "Oh, Punisher's coming back," and it was like,
yeah,
uh, okay, where is he coming back?
she shouldn't have said anything then.
No, yeah, I think she's definitely got in trouble for that. That's for sure.
Yeah, you know what? You shouldn't say anything. Don't say it's coming. Like,
Yeah,
because you're gonna say if she look, she's gonna. She's like, this is what you're gonna say. Yeah, I heard he's coming back. Or if she gives another answer like, oh, I'm not sure. People are gonna say, oh yeah, he's definitely coming back. Because
yeah,
that's all that people do with Marvel actors and actresses, thinking, right? I haven't heard anything. Like all these Marvel's actors and actresses. Oh, I haven't heard anything. I haven't heard anything. And every fan says, oh, they're definitely lying. Which in some cases is
yeah.
true, but in some cases it might not be true. It's true. Some of them don't know.
Yeah, I mean, she's not really in Marvel Studios' wheelhouse unless they asked her, "Oh, do you want to come back for Daredevil?" Right? But
Mhm.
it's not like she would. I mean, like I said, if she okay, but there's the thing: if she does come back for Daredevil, you know what I mean? Like
It's nightmare
this would
nursery.
again prove my point, what I was just saying. But like, it's just kind of I don't know why everybody loves to spin shit with these rumors and leaks now. It's just so annoying. Like everybody's got to have like a scoop or something. It's like who
Yeah,
cares, man? That that's why I just like making fun of that stuff because it's just dumb.
but everybody's been like, no, look, Patton Oswalt basically said Eternals 2 is happening. Yeah,
Yeah,
the director for the showrunner director for Moon Knight said basically season 2 is happening. Like, yeah,
and then they
they had to, they had to get permission to say that, wouldn't they?
I don't even think so. I think they're just I mean, first off, one well, not both of them, but the guy who did Moon Knight, I forget his name, but
Yeah, I
he
know what you're talking about.
retracted his statement. He was like, "Well, we don't know if there's going to be a
They
Moon
don't
Knight
say
season 2."
that.
Yeah.
They should
I
know
think
better.
they just know. I think we all instinctively know. Okay, there's going to be another Eternals. There's going to be another.
Yeah,
Um.
but don't say it's 100% confirmed
Yeah.
until it's 100% confirmed. Like,
Yeah.
don't say that because you could get in trouble.
Yeah.
Like, I think they do it to perfectly hype up people too. They hype up the fans. It's for attention.
Yeah. Yeah. It's for attention. It's to keep things going. The momentum.
The Marvel machine, the Marvel
Yeah.
MCU Studios machine. Yeah, I mean
Because
that's what it
if you
is.
think about it, it's like every day. There's everybody's talking about Marvel. I always thought it's like there's never a slowdown period.
No, not with Marvel. Only
Yeah, I think
2020.
that also plays into the burnout. Like there should be a time when like everybody. Well, that's the thing. People will still be talking about Marvel even if they weren't doing anything. That's how bad it's gotten.
Yeah, like look, Marvel. Like No Way Home basically saved the movie industry from the pandemic.
Yeah,
I'll give them credit for that. Marvel's done a lot of good because it's not at the box office, but it set a precedent for other movies and other because it does make other movies look really, really bad. And the other movies out there are better movies in terms of story and stuff. But
yeah.
Marvel is like I like I defended look, I defended blockbuster movies because they're the ones that save movie theaters.
Mm.
And business wise, it's good. It's good. Marvel movies for business wise is good. But putting away the business side of the things, from a fan perspective, they're not the best movies.
Well, I mean, yeah, like I wouldn't say that they're the best movies now because they've kind of been
Yeah.
the sheen has like faded away. I think that's also something people like don't really want to mention. It's not as exciting as it was like a couple years ago. You know what I mean? Where like I was even telling my friend like how like the big I think one of the dumbest decisions Marvel has made, and this is like a minor thing, but it was to put the Marvel Studios intro on their television shows.
Yeah.
I think that was one of the dumbest things they've done because now every time you go see it, I'm like, it feels like I've seen this trailer every single week now. It's so sickening. Well, before when they first showed off that intro, that was crazy. Like that because remember their original intro was just the basic Marvel comic flipping and then it says Marvel Studios, right? But this one was like so like in depth where
I
it was
think
like comic and then concept art and then live action. It was so cool.
they
But
want.
now
It's
it's
like they want
just
to.
who cares?
Yeah. They want to. It's like they
Yeah.
want to get away from the comic strips.
Yeah, you notice and they should have taken like some notes from what Lucasfilm did because you notice when you watch a Star Wars show, as much as I don't like them, except for the Mandalorian, but do you
Yeah.
notice how there's no crawl?
Yeah.
None of them have a crawl, right?
It's not needed.
That was intentional,
Yes, it
right?
was.
Because if they did a crawl at like even if it was like the first episode, it would get old. It would get old super quickly at the rate that they're putting out these shows. So it's like you have to realize and scale back. Like the Disney Plus shows can't be on the level of the movies. They really shouldn't.
They're not. I mean, they try to be. Well, they try to be.
They try to be.
Yeah, but they're not. And basically, they are written like movies, right? But it's I agree with you on that. The Disney Plus shows. I think Disney Plus shows are really the reason the VFX artists are having issues with Marvel.
Mm. And that's a whole nother thing too.
Yeah, I know. I blame the Disney Plus shows. I don't blame the movies. I blame the Disney Plus shows. But it did say it did affect them during Endgame, and that's before the Disney Plus shows too. So
Yeah. I mean,
I
I
mean,
think it's been happening for quite some time.
I know, but I think Marvel just made it worse. Actually, I think Disney made it worse because they're doing it for Star Wars too, with their shows, even though they don't have any movies coming back.
I wouldn't even really blame Disney all that much because remember, I would blame Disney if their output for all of their franchises were like this. But it's only Marvel. So this is obviously like Marvel thinks that they're big game and they can do whatever they want. But it's
They
like,
push people around.
yeah, and I'm kind of glad now that there's some directors who come out and kind of shit talk them because I do think they definitely deserve criticism and the fact that fans like to always like shield them from criticism
Let's have
is
Taika
it's
Waititi.
yeah, like Taika Waititi deserves a lot of criticism for Thor: Love and Thunder. I don't care if you like the movie
But he
or
did
not.
call it
Like,
the VFX. Remember that?
yeah, that was hilarious though
I know.
because that exposes him. It's like
Well,
holy shit.
that's not the worst thing that exposes him.
I know there's a lot of other shit. I mean, in the movie that exposes him, but
No,
like,
but people dug up on him yesterday.
yeah, but like besides that, because we kind of mentioned like I'm not like too big of a fan of like canceling people anyway, unless like
No,
they really
you know what
really
happens
deserve it.
when you really hate something? When a lot of people really hate the Thor and Thunder, they hate the director. Oh, let's see what we can do to cancel him.
Yeah, but like it's dumb though. It should be like more like, hey, look at all the dumb, like again the Hercules thing that he said that was
That's
dumb.
stupid. The VFX thing he did a couple months ago, how people were criticizing the VFX, specifically Himil, the son of Himil's character,
Hmm.
because that's what everybody used, right? Like the highlight the VFX issues in Thor Thunder, majority of the time, right? And they
Hmm.
just brush it off, like
Well, it wasn't even that he brushed it off. He was more like laughing at it. Because did
yeah,
you see that
yeah.
the thing that he did with Tessa Thompson? That was hilarious. Like it was just like, bro, like you're exposing yourself. Like this is like it looks like a paycheck
And
job.
that makes Tessa Thompson look bad too.
Yeah, I mean it all makes them look
Makes Tessa Thompson
bad in
look
my
bad.
opinion. It's like just come out like and admit that you're just like this is just a paid job. It's don't pretend that this is
Well,
like some
and the,
artistic
and the direct
integrity. Yeah, go. Sorry.
and the directors are calling them out. The directors are starting to call out Disney because of the VFX. What? They don't know?
Mm, yeah, they definitely know.
I
Without
mean,
a doubt,
Marvel
they
is
definitely
technically the
know.
biggest client. Yeah, of course. Like, you know what? They definitely they should unionize. Can you imagine if they unionize and say no, no,
Oh
no,
yeah,
no? We're not going to work on this until for better pay, better work hours, stuff like that. Marvel studios would be screwed because they wouldn't be able to have any content being made.
there's always these people who gotta like defend Marvel, where they're like, Marvel isn't the one doing the hours, but it's like Marvel is the direct problem. Okay, Marvel is the one who is literally saying 3 weeks before release, change this whole action sequence in the
I
last act.
know.
Like, and people are like, yeah, but like that's just how the industry works. No, that's not how shit works in the industry. Like that's one of the dumbest
That's a
things I've
sure.
ever heard.
This is how sure. That's how shit works in business.
Well, you don't. Well, first off, one, why are you changing a whole action sequence 3 weeks before the movie is going to premiere?
Yeah, that's a sign of a movie that's gonna not do very well. It's not a
Like
good
your
thing.
whole like you have to like it's all animation, it's all CGI. Like people have to go in, they have to now create new models, they have to go change all this shit. Like why like that should be all figured
And look,
out
the quality is
before the
what
movie even starts shooting.
you can tell the VG the effects are not as good because the employees are overworked, so you won't get the best out of them.
Yeah, and I really don't understand the whole defense of this. Oh, it's a fucking this is a well-oiled machine. It's a well-oiled machine that spits out dog shit. I'm sorry, but like, what else do you want me to say? It's not visually appealing, right? Like these aren't the like. Look at the Batman compared to what we've gotten with Marvel.
And look beautiful, the scenery and all that, and they didn't have to use any of that stuff. Oh,
Like they're so like it's so oh my god, like they need to have like $1 billion like 5 movies in a row within the same year. You know what I mean? Like why Disney can let up on having less Marvel movies. Put out other shit. You know what I mean? Or like put make like these movies need to be in development for much longer
they
then.
tried it. They tried with Lightyear, and Lightyear flopped.
And I liked Lightyear, but like I defend that movie because so many people hate it. But um, like Pixar would no, if you think about it, Pixar would never do something like that. Pixar would
No.
never be like, oh, change this whole sequence three weeks after, because then that would destroy the whole movie. The movie is tightly designed, right? And it seems like Marvel movies are not like this artistic design. And to be honest, the reason why I think fans, you know, it's really dumb for them to be pushing this oh that they're art is when they do stuff like this.
Yes.
Like I think that's like one of the worst defense that people have about that. Like I don't really now I'm like fully on the train of not defending Marvel because there's so much shit that's come out about them, and then on top of that too, look at what we've been getting.
They don't even pay the
You know,
comic. They don't even pay the writers.
no, they don't pay the writers or the artists because look at what they did with look at the Hawkeye series.
Yeah.
The Hawkeye series is the art is literally the posters, the whole artistic design of that show is based on the comic, and they didn't even bother paying the artist. It's like he's also
That's
integral
that's not
to
Marvel
that
Studios.
story.
That's not Marvel Studios issue. That's a Disney issue because they own Marvel. They should have paid them.
Regardless, I would say that it's all gonna go back to Marvel's fault. You know what I mean?
Disney, people give a lot of crap about Warner Brothers. Disney is more shady than Warner Brothers.
Mm,
It's not it's not this. People have just like if you're a family and you have kids, Disney is like the perception is all good. Nothing bad happens at Disney. That's far from the truth,
mm,
right? Like, it's true, isn't it? Like,
yeah.
look. Walt Disney. I'll tell you something. Walt Disney was not a good person. He was an anti-Semite.
Jeez, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, he was.
I knew he wasn't definitely not a good person. Well, I mean, now that I think about it, there was a lot of racist shit in those Disney cartoons.
Oh
So
yeah.
I always just thought it was the time error, but my
You know what?
God.
You know how they said and my issue with Moon Knight, they explored his Jewish heritage. I'm Jewish, right? They explored the
Mhm,
heritage of Judaism, right? Only by the time we wore the yarmulke, and he didn't bother going to his mother Shiva, right? Because his mother died
mhm,
in Judaism, and he went to the Egyptian afterlife. But if he's Jewish, he should be going to heaven, not to the Egyptian afterlife. If
mhm.
you know,
His faith in the show is very all over the place.
and they have no problem exploring that with Miss Marvel. But when it comes to somebody else,
Yeah.
like that's to me that's a little woke.
I
This is
think it's just so it's like they shoehorned that in the last minute because they were like, oh, people are gonna complain. I know they definitely have thought about that. You know what I mean? Like,
well, if they have the Fantastic Four, if they have the Thing in, he's Jewish, right? So have explored his.
mhm,
He's very proud of it too. Kitty Pryde, if they ever have her in, like, see, oh yeah, I want to get to another topic, right? Well, Giancarlo Esposito basically said at the Comic Con I think it was in Chicago, right? So
mhm,
he talked with Marvel Studios about, right, and he specifically name dropped Doctor Doom, Professor Xavier, Doctor Freeze, and
mhm.
Magneto. And I'm like Doctor Freeze. I don't know if he really did talk to Marvel Studios.
Mhm.
No, he didn't. Yeah, he did. He probably did, but I think he was confused because there is no Doctor Freeze in Marvel. We
Yeah, I
know
don't.
that.
I'm like he. That was the quote.
Yeah,
Oh
but he
wow.
says he wants to
Okay.
play.
Yeah.
He says he wants to play Professor Xavier though. For some
Mhm.
reason, I didn't realize this. I told RJ show yesterday. Professor Xavier is not British.
No, that was like that was a movie thing.
Yeah, yeah, he's not British. I'm like, I thought, why did they decide to make it British in X-Men? Because
Well,
because
because of Patrick Stewart.
he looks exactly like him.
Yeah.
But
So they're just like,
they didn't have to do it with James McAvoy though.
well, because remember, James McAvoy is supposed to be Patrick Stewart,
Oh yeah, yeah, that's
so that's
true.
why. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
but yeah,
there's a lot of dumb stuff in the
I
X
don't,
Men movies.
I have no
So
problem. I don't have no problem being a Professor Xavier, but Magneto and Doctor Doom doesn't fit him because to me, Doctor Doom
mm,
to me, Doctor Doom is Eastern European, and to be honest, I'm not. I'm not. This is not. It does not
yeah,
make me racist or anything like that. It's that Eastern European people are not. There's not a lot of. There's. I don't know. There's not a lot of people of color as Eastern European.
it doesn't make sense. I mean, he's mixed. Carl Zito's mixed. He's um, I know he's Italian, and I'm not sure what his other half is.
Italian doesn't work either.
Yeah, but like yeah, like it's not gonna work. I don't mind him as Professor X. I definitely don't want to see him as a
I'll
villain
tell you, it
again
has to be
because
similar.
they just typecast him.
It has to cast something like Doctor Doom has to be similar casting to someone like Wanda and Pietro.
Yeah,
Even though they
it could
lost their
be.
accent.
Well, I always say that even the casting for Scarlet Witch is kind of wonky because like she doesn't really look Eastern European.
No. Well, they didn't give her an accent though.
Well, they gave her the accent, but it's like this
They
wonky
took it away
accent.
though. They took it away. They kind of took it away.
Yeah, they kind of took it. Well, I think that's just because Elizabeth Olsen is like, I don't know, can't do the accent.
Or it's because she lived in America and she developed American accent. I don't know.
But that doesn't make sense though.
Aaron Taylor Johnson was good at the accent.
Yeah, but well, he better actor though.
Well,
It's not that surprising.
he is British. They
Yeah,
are
he is
bad act.
British,
They are
but I
bad
mean,
accents.
he's most definitely the better actor of the two of them. If I had to put money on it,
Yeah.
like he's been in way more stuff than her in terms of like range.
I mean, British actors are actually better than American actors because if you know for a fact, they do better American accents than Americans do British accents.
Yeah,
Americans suck at British accents.
yeah, it's true.
But yeah. But
Well,
yeah, but
actually, you know
I'm
that
saying if you cast yeah.
sorry, I just remembered because I saw Bullet Train. The guy who was, I
I
forget
have
his
to see it.
name. I'm forgetting his name, but the guy who was in Eternals, he's Fastos in Eternals. That guy's
Tyler
American.
Henry? Oh,
Say it again.
is it the
Say
black
his name.
guy?
Yes, the black guy.
The
Yeah,
black guy.
he is
Henry
American.
Bryce Bryce Tyler
Bright.
Henry. He was in He was in
Yes,
Godzilla, right?
I
Last year's
Well,
Godzilla.
I
Godzilla
didn't
versus
see that
Kong.
one.
Oh yeah,
I didn't
okay.
see that one,
I
so
know
I
what
don't
you're
know.
talking about. Yeah, he's American. Yeah, I know he's American.
He's American, but he does a very convincing British accent in that movie.
Some of them could do it. It's very hard. It's
Yeah, just like speaking of that, because I thought that was like the only good example of an American doing a British accent.
yeah. But yeah, I'm just saying for Doctor Doom, and same with Magneto. Same goes for Magneto. You need somebody with an accent,
Yeah,
or is that Eastern European background? Because there's not his last name is Leshier, right? I'm sorry, but that's like a German. That's more of an Eastern European last name. And
mm,
Victor, I mean Doom, like Victor Von Doom. I mean Von is Eastern European, but Doom is really kind of
mm.
just for fun of it. But yeah, see, but they already have Doom cast. That's a pure fact. Doom's already been cast.
Yeah, yeah. I'm curious to who is
Yeah.
playing Doctor Doom.
That's what I hopefully D23 will reveal. I think they're saving.
I don't know when. I think it's gonna be the Black Panther is gonna be the reveal.
Oh yeah, but you think it's gonna be without the mask or with the mask on?
I think it's gonna be with the mask on.
Oh, but you'll be able to tell by the voice.
Yeah.
I heard the second in command by being Black Panther. So I forget her name.
For
Black Panther 2 also.
But who? Like
I
who?
forget.
Who
I
what?
forget. I forget. You think Doom would be there just for vibranium?
Supposedly he's the because there's a rumor.
That he's the
Um,
mastermind of the whole war?
he's the no, no, no. Remember, there's a character that was in Ant-Man 2 that they talked about that they never showed.
Oh yeah.
I'm forgetting what the term. I think it was what was the term that they used. But there's a character that hasn't been shown yet, and so apparently this is in the beginning of Black Panther. They talk about this character, and it's revealed that it's Doctor Doom.
Oh,
So
okay.
Doctor Doom's been like kind of pulling the strings. Um,
Then where the hell did Doctor Doom come from? Like all of a sudden, he's just
yeah,
like
that's gonna have to be explained.
it's just like oh, hey, this is what I think. I think Doctor Doom is the main. I know Kang they say is the main villain of the next phases, the multiverse saga phase. I'm telling you,
Mhm.
Doctor Doom is gonna be the main villain. I think Kang is red herring.
Yeah, I could see them doing that because it is Kang Dynasty, and then you have
Secret Wars.
Secret Wars. But at the same time, we were all thinking Endgame was not going to have Thanos as a villain. So I
I never
don't know.
believed that for a second.
A lot of people did. I believed it too
Was
because I was like,
um,
it kind of makes sense.
but the thing of power of Endgame. Okay, they killed the 2023 Thanos. They stabbed the 2014 Thanos. What happens to the 2015 Thanos? What if he decides to come? What if he has infinite godliness?
Yeah.
That's right. That's right. That's right. Time travel in Endgame did not make sense.
Well, now the multiverse stuff doesn't even make sense
No, everybody can do it now.
because of well, unless someone's got to explain this to me because I'm still very confused. The multiverse never existed until Loki. At the end of
Yes,
Loki,
but now
there were
everybody
only
can do the multiverse.
so if that's the case, then there was only just like timeline. Like it still doesn't make sense. So like there was no multiverse. There was just different timelines, and they were trying to the TVA was trying to stop them. But why didn't they just allowed a bunch of timelines to crash into each other?
That's what. That's the
Be-
problem with Phase 4. It's all too confusing.
I don't know. I don't know about that. That doesn't. So they were okay with Thanos in another timeline not existing because that wasn't the main timeline anyway.
I
But
know.
it had
What the
to have existed though.
You
That's the
know
part
what?
that I don't.
You know
I'm
what
confused
Batman?
by.
If Batman met the TVA, he'd be like, "I don't accept this kind of shit. I don't accept this." He'd be like, "Batman would
Well,
never accept that kind of
now the
stuff
TVA doesn't even. Well,
exist."
they
What are you
still
gonna
exist,
do?
but like their whole thing of protecting the timeline doesn't exist.
No,
So
that's a flaw of Phase 4. It doesn't make sense.
yeah, once they got into because if you also think about it too, the comics there is multiverse stories, but you notice how a lot of the times the multiverse story gets cleaned up very quickly, and it's done very like
It's hard
you
to do
know,
multiverse. I'm telling you, it's hard to do multiverse kind of stuff. It's very hard.
yeah, it is. It brings
I
up it
mean,
just brings up too many questions. I think.
The CW do with their stuff, and actually, as much as I didn't like it, but it's actually they had a good story. And like I didn't like it personally, but they actually had some. It actually made sense though with the
Mhm.
anti monitor and the monitor. It actually made sense. But I mean, and I'm sorry, but Marvel's better than CW. But it don't make
Yeah.
sense because everybody can do the multiverse. What you got? American Chavez, you got Loki, and now Wanda could go in the multiverse. No, she never. I mean, she
Mhm.
could create reality. She could possess, but she's never been someone that could create a multiverse,
Mhm.
right? Like
I don't even really mind like I mean American Chavez has had that power, so it's not like too
yeah, she
big of a
always had it.
problem.
Yeah,
Yeah, so it's my main issue is like, oh, you're gonna have these like splintered multiverses and stuff, and that's a result of what happened at the end of Loki. Because, and also another thing too that I keep mentioning, because Kevin Feige himself said that the end of Loki triggered the events of what's happening in Phase 4, because he says that Peter messing up was not supposed to happen. So
But
that's
didn't Doctor Strange screw up because Peter kept interrupting the spell?
well, that's what I'm saying. That's the part that's confusing to me. So
Yeah,
he's trying to say that Peter messing up the spell was never actually going to happen.
but it did happen.
That it's an alternate. Yeah, I know, but they're like, I don't know if this is going to be like a big reveal, and they're like trying to like hide it, even though he said it in the interview. But I don't know if they're going to do that thing where it's like, oh, the phase 4 is like an alternate timeline, and it wasn't actually supposed to happen.
I could tell you one thing: the heroes in that Phase 4 did not treat it like it was alternate timeline.
Well, they
It
wouldn't
didn't
know.
seem like
They wouldn't know.
I
Like
thought
the only people who would know is Loki at this point. Like even Doctor Strange wouldn't know. Which, I mean, why doesn't Doctor Strange know
oh,
about the
that's true.
TVA? Yeah, I don't know. They're gonna have to. That's why Loki, in my opinion, like Loki should have been a show that came out like every year, so then we
It
can
is.
understand it. Because it's
Well, at
like,
least they're having season 2.
yeah, but it should be like more constant. Because it's like, okay, that's like a big, massive thing, and it's like you're telling this in an interview, and so I'm like that doesn't even make any sense, because it's like,
Look,
why why even acknowledge that in an
I know you
interview?
know what it's called? It's called Marvel Flashpoint.
Oh my god. Please don't. I
I honestly, if the DC want to do a multiverse, do Batman Who
I
Laughs.
mean
Do
they're
the
going
Batman Who Laughs.
I mean they're eventually gonna do Flashpoint, because How the M is basically Flashpoint.
And it basically is Flashpoint to the Flash movie. And that movie is definitely coming out. A lot of people think, oh, they should release this movie. I'm sorry, that movie's coming out.
I think they have no other choice but to release this
Exactly.
movie.
It's like a
I think
200,
that
300
it's the
million
same thing
movie.
with Black Adam.
You know, Flash's budget is like 200, 300 million. You think they're not going to release that movie? Come on.
Yeah, they can't write that off or like put it as like a tax down, or you know what I mean. So it's like
No.
they have to release it.
And look, Batgirl was 90 to 100 million, right? And you only got
Yeah.
15 to 20 million in write-offs. So that's only like what? Like 15 to 20%, 20 to 25%
Mm-hmm.
for money.
Mm-hmm.
They're not gonna do that for. And I'm telling you one thing. I'm telling you, the Flash may not do well at the box office because of the stuff of Ezra Miller, but it'll definitely at least make as much money as the budget did. It won't make a. I don't think it will make a profit.
I'm gonna
But I
say a
can see
hot take.
it depends.
I'm gonna say hot take. I don't think because of what's happening with Ezra Miller means that it's gonna flop.
Yeah, I can see that.
I think he has to do either some. I think he has to be in the news more constantly, and like it would have to be for like, if he gets, for example, if he gets arrested for something that's very serious, right? Like not just like stealing something, like actually like, oh, this guy's like being arrested for like, I don't
He stole
know,
the Batgirl movie from Warner headquarters.
not even stealing. I mean like an actual like a really
That'd be
really
funny though.
bad fucking crime. But yeah, it would be funny. But like if he did something like horrendous shit, okay, then I will definitely say that movie's gonna bomb. Like there's no way. This, you know what I mean? People are gonna be like, why am I gonna watch? Like let's say he murders somebody, okay. Not
Oh
saying
my
he will,
god.
but
Well,
let's say if he murders somebody.
the stuff he's being accused for is, if it's true,
It,
is a career killer. It's a prison.
yes,
It's prison.
yes. That, you know what I mean? If he did, he came out and they say he's caught with all this stuff. I ain't gonna say downstream, but
No, the stuff he's being accused. The stuff he's being accused for. He sounds like Charles Manson, except for the murder part. But like,
yeah. I mean, he's I don't know. It's gonna be bad. Okay, that's like the worst case scenario. But like, if they can like somehow, just keep all the news just on like social media,
what?
and not let it like spread around, where then it becomes like, oh, everybody on the planet knows about this thing. Then yeah, like I don't think they would have like that much to worry
Yeah, because
about.
as much as Ezra Miller is popular among the comic book fans, he's not exactly. the biggest celebrity out there. If it's
No,
somebody,
I've told people about Ezra Miller and they had about this whole
if
situation
it,
and they've
if
never
it's
heard
somebody
about
like
it.
Ben Affleck, that's a different story.
Yeah, like he's not that high profile enough to get attention.
Yeah,
So it's like if he does nothing from now until they release that movie,
Flash,
they're gonna be fine.
the Flash. I mean, the Flash movie would have been that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still think they can't they really can't scrap
And
that movie.
it's a shame because no, it's a shame because Ezra Miller's a very talented actor.
Yeah.
He's just weird. He's just a weird
I
person overall.
I never really liked him as Barry Allen though, to be honest.
I didn't think
He,
I didn't think it fit Barry Allen either.
no, he's not very Barry Allen. I know some
Grant
people say
Gustin is a good.
he's like Wally West, but even Wally West I would say that's like a reach. He's not
Grant
like
Gustin,
Wally West.
as much as a CW show, Grant Gustin was a good Barry Allen.
Yeah. I mean,
Like
he was okay. I'm not like too big of a fan of the
I
Flash
don't know why people
show.
want to hype up Grant Gustin as the Flash for the movie. Like, no, no,
I I
no.
I, I wouldn't want to see that. But I don't know. They can if they in my opinion, I wouldn't even say recast. Just put Wally West because most of us want Wally West anyway, and I think more people are familiar with Wally West because Barry Allen only like I mean he didn't recently come back. It's been like how many years now, but like he wasn't like the main Flash for a good period of time.
Well, he was in Justice
So
League TV series. What's the problem if you want to develop the Flash? How do you do the Flash? How do you do Wally West with the Rogues, Reverse Flash, Grodd?
just do Wally West.
I mean, Wally
Just as
West,
simple as that. Just do
Wally
Wally
West,
West.
Wally West does have his own version of Reverse Flash, though. It's a different guy.
Yeah.
I mean, a more tragic Reverse Flash than Thawne.
Yeah, I think it's the easiest way of like getting rid of whatever this Ezra Miller situation is, while also just being like, well, it's not as confusing to recast him. But also too, I think like Barry Allen as a character, I don't really care for.
Yeah, one Barry one, no one Ezra one.
Yeah, run. It was me Ezra this whole
Well, you know
time.
what? I'll say this: Giancarlo Esposito. I don't. I think it'd be good. I think it'd be Mr. Freeze. I think it'd be good.
Hmm. That would be interesting. I don't know if he could even be in that movie because he does a lot of TV stuff.
He does a lot of villain stuff, though.
Yeah,
I think he wants to do a hero stuff.
yeah. He needs to play a character that's not like what we've already got from him because I think that's like the biggest thing
I think Mr.
problem with
Freeze.
him.
I think Mr. Like a villain like he plays
No, yeah,
like that.
he's a more sympathetic villain,
Yeah,
but at the same
and he doesn't
time,
play. He doesn't play sympathetic villains.
no, he doesn't. He usually it's like a reveal that he's just like a scumbag. But uh, I don't know. I think it would be interesting if he played a role that wasn't a villain, like a straight up
Yeah,
villain.
you know what? Professor
He
Xavier, I could
needs
see
that.
that, but what else?
Give me a second. I'm gonna get
Yeah,
something.
I gotta go to the bathroom too, man. Sorry, I'm back, guys. I had go bathroom. Oh, good for him. What the hell is a? I'll be back. He'll be back. We'll probably end soon, maybe like 15, 20 minutes, maybe half an hour. I'm just laughing at something. I'm sorry, guys.
All right, I'm back.
Yeah. You know, they should really
Sorry
do a
about that.
Batman. Can you imagine they do a Batman Who Laughs multiverse saga? Fuck. Oh
That'd
my
be
god.
crazy.
Because he kills like everybody, right? Like in his universe. Oh my god.
I would like an Injustice app.
Oh yeah.
That'd be really
Oh,
cool.
anything is better than the animated movie. Well, that was terrible.
I've never even seen that one. I heard like
Yeah.
some stuff, but I would never watch that. No.
They're making a third game, aren't
The
they?
second game was okay.
Yeah, they're making a third game. Aren't they
I
planning a
mean
third
they
game?
have to, but well, the rumor right now is that what's the studio NetherRealm?
Yeah.
They're not working on a third game. They're working on Mortal Kombat 12.
Oh really?
Yeah, yeah. That's a rumor at least. That's what what's that guy Jeff Grubbs is saying. And obviously if Jeff Grubbs is saying something, then I believe it because his track record is too good to not believe,
What the hell
which is
this?
kind of unfortunate.
That's just Disney Plus news. Just came
Oh, there's
out.
news.
Disney Plus news, yeah. Discussion Film has it.
Hmm.
Okay, let me put it up. Oh, Disney Plus Basic will launch with 4 minutes of ads per hour. It will start with 15. Nobody wants ads
Oh,
on Disney
what?
Plus.
Wait. Is this like a new tier? What is this?
Yeah, it sounds like a new tier.
Oh, please, it better be a new tier because I don't want to be paying for ads.
Okay, let's see. I'm reading this right. Disney Plus Basic will launch with about 4 minutes of ads per hour. It will start with 15 and 30-second spots. The tier will cost $8. Well, that's 8 American, so that's probably like 10 up for us. I don't know.
Yeah, okay. Because it originally was at like, wasn't it originally at Canadian like $10?
I think it's 11 now.
I pay more than 11. It's like 13.
It is 13. I think when it came out in 2019, it was like 11, wasn't it?
Yeah, like when it first started, and then they had the option where you can buy it for a whole year,
Every
and then they
streaming
took that
service went
away.
up. Every streaming service went up. Pandemic costs, man.
Well, I don't even think it was pandemic cost. They were going to do that regardless.
I mean, Netflix does it like Netflix is the worst with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So why does Disney Plus need ads? Are they struggling for money? What?
No, they all. It seems like all these services are going to get ads.
I hate watching ads on YouTube. Why would I want to see it on Disney Plus?
Yeah, same. I think ads on YouTube are the absolute worst.
I know.
That's why I have YouTube Premium.
Oh,
I can't stand ads.
I don't.
Can't
So
stand them.
The worst is when you're watching a very long stream that somebody you like, and then all of a sudden an ad pops up.
Yeah.
Oh,
Because I use YouTube way too much, so that's why I was like, might as well.
yeah, people are not happy with it. I'm looking in the mentions. It's just another way for them to make money. So it begins. I
Yeah,
love
it
that
is.
meme. I love that meme from Lord of the Rings. So it begins. Oh my god, that's funny. If you watch like a movie and every hour an ad pops up,
Oh my God.
like no, no. For example, I was watching I was looking at a mention. Right, you're watching Endgame. Tony has a gun and does a snap. As soon as he's about to do the snap, an ad pops up.
Oh, that sounds awful. Sounds fucking horrendous. Why? Dude, I heard they were trying so hard to put ads in like just a bunch of shit. Like they were gonna put ads in this like clever way where it's like they can like 3D track and
Yeah.
put the ad in the movie. Oh man, dude, I'm already pissed off when I see product placement because it's so obvious. It's not even like clever. Like in Bullet Train, there was like a fuck ton of product placement, man. It was really annoying, especially toward that. There was one thing at the ending, I almost walked out of that theater because I was like, God damn, it was awful,
What was
man.
it? You can tell what product was it?
It's a Fiji water bottle, but the Fiji water bottle is thrown throughout the movie, but at the very ending, a character picks up the same water bottle, right, that we see in the beginning of the movie, and they actually have to cut to a montage sequence explaining how the water bottle got there. Dude, it was so horrendous. I was so upset just
A
looking at it. I'm
montage.
like,
A
a
montage for water
montage
bottle.
for a water bottle, yeah, explaining how the water bottle rolled down the damn train and then how it like landed in that exact same spot so the character can pick it up and
The
like
fuck?
throw it at someone.
What
Yeah,
the
it was a lot of people like that movie, but I did not like that movie at all. Like once I'm like sitting down in a movie theater and I'm like, damn, I feel uncomfortable and my knees start to hurt, I'm like, fuck. That's when it's like, damn. If the movie just keeps going on and on, I'm just gonna get more
Okay, so
pissed.
I have an update from Grace. Full thing on
Oh
Disney
no,
Plus.
Grace Randolph.
No, it's not. She didn't comment on her opinion. It's no opinion. Don't worry.
Okay.
But this is America, right? So okay. So investor call is about 20. They just announced starting in the USA December 8th. I'm pretty sure it's going to change here too, where we are. Ad free $11. Ads $8. Also with ads Disney Plus Hulu, which we don't have, but we're lucky in that sense that we get everything from that from there, right? Anyway, on our Disney Plus in Canada, Hulu, ESPN, $13. We don't get ESPN here, but
No.
even though they do show some of the shows here, but so
Well, if you think about it, here in besides that, we have like the best option because we get the
yeah,
stuff that was exclusive on Hulu, also on Disney Plus,
it's,
or at least majority of it.
I didn't watch Prey on my Disney Plus because we do get Prey on our Disney Plus. I watched it with
Yeah.
on Max's sub channel.
Hmm.
We had a live watch, but yeah, we basically, but you just have to go to settings and like make it change your the age settings to mature and stuff. Yeah, and we get everything that
Hmm.
Hulu has. Yeah, that's where we have it. We're lucky here in Canada, but so if this is the USA, I'm probably Canada's probably going to change it too. That's almost a
Yeah.
guarantee Canada's going to change the price. But
Yeah. I mean, they're definitely going to change the price. Yeah.
why they do it? They're not. I'm pretty sure Disney's not struggling for money.
Hmm.
It's it's you know what? It's companies being greedy.
Well, this is the thing about these services, right? They in order to make a profit, they're going to have to increase the prices. So that's why it's like, okay, this is like
You know what?
inevitable.
You know why? Because their
Why?
subscriber count is not going up as much as it once was.
Well, that, but also they I don't think Disney Plus has reached its limits yet. It's not like
No.
Netflix. Yeah, like they think that, oh, everybody's gonna be subscribed, but I think there's gonna be like, give it maybe like 5, 7 years from now, they'll realize, oh, that this whole streaming thing
What
was not a good idea.
when do you think when do you think Netflix peaked?
Um, Probably like, I don't know, 2018, 19, like right before the pandemic.
I could tell you, I think the only one that never peaked was HBO.
Well, yeah, HBO, I don't think will ever peak because they have, you
Hmm.
know, it's not like they just put out a bunch of stuff. I hope now that they don't, because it seems like their whole division is now just going to be focused on scripted stuff. So it's like everything has to go through them.
Yeah.
That's the only worrying thing. But otherwise, I don't, I don't think they'll never be in Netflix because they're not the number crunching. They're more the creative types, right? Like they're picking projects that they think are more, um, I don't know, more in line with their brand, if that makes sense.
Hmm.
While Netflix is like, just put whatever the fuck we have up on there, buy it, produce it, take it from somebody, just put it on Netflix. That's like Netflix's motto.
No,
I don't give a shit.
they took like Lucifer to put it on there.
Yeah. Anything, yeah, they put Titans for us on there. I don't even
Yeah.
watch Titans. I'm never gonna watch Titans. There's some stuff where I'm just like, even if it's comic book, I'm like, I'm definitely not watching that. I don't care how much you pay me.
Oh
What else is
yeah.
there? Oh, we're gonna talk about the Infinite Crisis. I don't think we got to talk about that.
Oh yeah. We're going to talk about the crisis. No. What's your thoughts on that? Like, I'm
I
not
think me
shocked
and
that
you
we're gonna
have
lead
the
up to
same
something like
take.
that. It's just.
I'm not shocked either, but
Mhm.
like, if they think it was gonna make like Avengers money, then they're wrong. Like
No.
it's such a like, and on top of that too, right? To me, it like, I don't know what was the purpose of doing that, because a Crisis on Infinite Earths was like a storyline to like soft reboot DC. So it's like, what
Isn't that the
was
Flashpoint supposed to be?
well that will because that's the thing. DC has always done reboots, right?
I
Marvel
know.
has never really done reboots, right? So Infinite Earths was like them trying to correct because everybody was asking, okay, like the Golden Age and Silver Age characters kind of were
Yeah.
different from the 80s and 90s. So like they tried to like explain that away with Infinite Earths, where it's like, okay, all these universes got merged together and that's like our current timeline. But like, if you're going to do that with DC, what exactly are you going to do? Because yeah, like what you're saying, the Flash movie was supposed to reboot things. It was supposed to make a new timeline. So was it like a new timeline by mistake, and then Infinite Crisis was going to fix that mistake?
Hmm.
Like, I'm like confused.
I mean,
Like
look. What do you need? Like,
what do you mute yourself? I can't hear anything. Okay, he muted himself.
better. There we go.
Yeah, yeah.
Is
I
it
was about to say, okay.
so? They said crisis, but which crisis? Infinite, final? What? Oh, no, it's final.
Well, they said infinite.
Oh,
Let me just make sure, because Final Crisis is totally different.
that's Dark Side.
Yeah,
Which is probably what it could lead up to anyway. That was Snyder was probably going to lead up to.
but you would think yeah, it was Crisis on Infinite Earths. Like that doesn't even make any sense. Like what? First off, one, like okay, so would it have this been every single DC related thing gets like somewhat merged?
Yeah. Well, like
Because that's the only way I can make like this makes
what are you
any
gonna do?
sense.
They're gonna introduce Robert Pattinson's Batman into this?
Well, yeah, that's what I'm gonna assume. Like anything that was DC related that was not connected to the DCU would have to be involved with this
Mm-hmm.
project because then it would just be pointless. It would be like Infinite Earths, and then you see like the Snyder Justice League, like Wonder Woman, Aquaman, all of them. Like, okay, like that's not
Why did it?
Crisis on Infinite Earth. So
Why did they have to? Why did they have to do this multiversal thing? Why can't you just do regular other storylines involving the main Earth and Earth Prime is called now.
I have no
Don't It's like
clue.
a copy
I
of
have no clue.
Marvel. It's like
This to me sounds like that they're trying to
stop
copy
copying.
Marvel, but they're also trying
Stop
to
copying.
reboot. Like this seems like
You
this
know
is
the
how
only
we
thing?
get out
Yeah.
of
You
the
know what?
mess that they're in.
If you want to copy Marvel, the only thing you have to do to copy Marvel is just have a stable movies slate of movies and go through them, but just don't make many movies or Disney shows like Marvel does. Just have a plan.
Yeah.
Like this to me doesn't sound like they have a plan. That's the issue. Like, but don't copy Marvel and their ideas all the time. Where you need like a multiversal thing or stuff like that. I mean, you could do the smaller movies that lead up to a big movie like Avengers or like Avengers movies, but you don't have to go you don't have to go multiverse stuff. You could go Dark
Hmm.
Side as one of the main villains. You could do Brainiac. You could do there's other
But
villains out there. You don't need to do
that's the problem
multiverse stuff
with
for you
these
want.
movies because it's like they really don't
Yes,
they don't have they realize that in order to get people in that wouldn't normally see these movies, it's got to be like big. It's got to be like explosive and crazy.
unless it's Batman, right?
Yeah, unless it's well, even if it's Batman,
You know.
yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah, it doesn't really matter. But like that, I don't know why it's so hard for them to just tell a simple story. Like people, I mean, look at Top Gun. Top Gun grossed like $1 billion. Did anybody
Yes,
think that was going to happen? I don't think so.
great word of mouth. That movie had great word of mouth. That's why I made $1 billion because it was very good. I mean, it was great, and but yeah, like if they want to, they should have. Personally, they should reboot the Who DCU, start from scratch, start with Batman, Wonder Woman, Superman. Have a movie basically based on the Trinity or World Finest, and have introduce Supergirl in that movie or somebody. I don't know, or
Mm.
somebody, or have them take on I don't know a villain if they're a villain on like Brainiac level or something like that. Not Doomsday, not Doomsday. I think if you want to introduce Doomsday, have Superman be universally loved by the people of Earth first. That's my issue with Zack Snyder's death of Superman. Superman was not loved by everybody, so that his impact as death didn't mean much to the
No,
didn't
yeah,
mean right.
yeah. It didn't mean much because it wasn't it because they were. Um, I still don't really agree with this because it just doesn't make sense. They were
Yeah.
trying to have Superman become Superman, like he wasn't really Superman yet, like in the traditional sense. But then Zack Snyder just kind of was like doing his own
Look,
shit at.
look.
So,
A perfect comparison is that to Tony Stark's death in Avengers Endgame. Like the
mm,
contrast of those two deaths, how his death affected the world, and the world really it meant to the world his death, right? Because the world really loved the Avengers, especially Tony Stark. He sacrificed his life to save them all, to bring everybody back, to save her from everybody was back because Hawk, use the Infinity Gauntlet before, but he's the one that Tony Stark used to snap to get rid of Thanos' his army, and he sacrificed his life for that. That death has more impact than Superman's death and BVS because Tony Stark was universally loved. And Superman wasn't yet. He was slowly getting there, right? He was getting there, but he wasn't at that point. That's why.
Yeah.
My God. Like Zack Snyder, I don't know if he really is a comic book fan.
And I mean, we talked about this. I really don't think he's like that. He's not. I mean, there's all different types of comic book fans, but I always thought he was the one that more prefers what DC was putting out in the 80s, like the classic old Dark Knight Returns and Watchmen and you know what they were doing with what was another classic book from that time, like that renaissance that DC had, you know, like that's the time period that was like interesting, that like legitimized comic books for a lot of people.
But he knew, like, killing off Dick, he knew that's going to create a lot of issues. And
yeah, he just didn't care.
And the stories about what plans for Justice League 2, how Batman and Lois would get together, but was implied that in BVS that was Diana and Bruce were flirting with each other. Like, why would he? Like, he set it up for Diana and Bruce eventually to get together, but instead it'd be Batman and Lois for the sequels. Like, and he said they're gonna name Superman when he comes back is gonna marry Lois and name their son Bruce Jr. or stuff like that, and Superman and Lois, the son, was gonna become the next Batman. It's so fucking stupid.
Yeah.
I mean, just have Talia al Ghul come in and just have Damien come in and become the.
It's all stupidness.
That's why I see. That's why I look at Matt Reeves. He understands Batman more than Zack Snyder.
Yeah.
Like, and I know some people have issues with this Batman and Matt Reeves' Batman because he's not like Ben Affleck's Batman. I'm like, yeah, but Ben Affleck's Batman is like in his 40s. This is a Batman who's probably like 25 to 30.
Yeah, he's still a younger Batman.
Reclusive, angry. I
mean, he's not even. I mean, if you really think about it, he wasn't Batman until the ending of the movie.
Yeah. Yes. Because he had yes, exactly. Because Batman has always been about vengeance, but he realized that, like, in the movie, even in the comics and stuff, vengeance is not the only. It's not the way. He inspires hope and stuff. He makes people not afraid of Gotham anymore. And
yeah,
this Batman had a lot of character growth from the beginning to the end, and it's something only one director besides Matt Reeves has done it. That's Christopher Nolan. Right? And I love Robert Pattinson's Batman. Like, he didn't give a damn. He doesn't care if he lives. He has survivor's guilt. He wanted to die in an alleyway. Okay, he didn't want to live. He wanted to die with his parents. You could tell. He went by how he reacts, how he's cold. He doesn't care about his family's legacy in terms of the business that he inherited from his father. He didn't care about that. He wanted to die. He wanted to die in an alleyway. Right? And he has to learn to become Bruce. I mean, technically, Batman is his real personality, but he has to learn the other side, the Bruce Wayne side of being out there, because I think he now knows, especially with the flood. Batman cannot do anything with the flood. He cannot, like, repair buildings, right? He cannot repair buildings, stuff like that, repair the damages of the city. But you know who can? Bruce Wayne can, with his money. He could donate. He could help out the city. Bruce Wayne could do that. And remember, the mayor at the funeral scene basically told him that his family was very charitable and influential in the city. And that, you know what, that seems important for him as character growth, because that's how Batman eventually becomes, right? Batman learns, and look, we know in the Batman lore, Bruce Wayne is out there donating money and stuff. Okay, that's not his real personality. But you don't think he genuinely is happy about doing that? Of course he's happy about donating money to fix up Gotham. He knows to prevent crimes at times is sometimes being charitable and stuff. improve infrastructure, stuff like that. Because look. Yes, his father was murdered by a thief, right? Or whatever. In the movie, whether it's a thief or somebody's a hitman. But if it's a thief, if he can prove the city, improve people's well-being, that might prevent thefts like that.
Mm-hmm.
Except it won't prevent the super villains, but yeah, like, and that's why I hate that people are so. Oh, we need an angry Batman. I'm like, dude, Batman's not always been angry. He's been a compassionate character, too.
Yeah, definitely. I always, yeah, we talked about that before, where it's like I think people just like the edgy Batman because it's cool, I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, like because it's cool. Yeah, but it's not. But it's not. It's not. But being a hero is not always being edgy. It's about being compassionate. That's
Yeah.
why. That's why he has sympathy for his the guys like Two-Face, Mr. Freeze, even Poison Ivy, Harley Quinn. I mean, he's even showed the Joker at times.
Yeah, definitely.
Like,
I mean that's why I hate when people say that ending in The Killing Joke. He killed Joker, quote unquote. It's like, did you read what Joker said before? Because that's an allegory for their relationship. It's like one of the
yeah.
dumbest things. Why would he kill him?
Mm,
It's like he's laughing at the joke because it's ironic, right? Like because that's their relationship boiled down to a punchline,
mm-hmm.
right? It's just that I always hate when people say that idea because it's like why would he do that? Like the whole story is about him trying to fix the Joker, and then he
Mm-hmm.
just decides to kill him. It's, I don't know. I don't know why people just like that. They really do like superheroes being edgy, which I guess visually it's cool, but it's like it
That's not a
just takes
hero.
away from the story.
That's
Like
not a
that.
hero, right? Like in the Batman, he was being vengeful because he wanted to punish the criminals. He wasn't thinking about other people really.
Yeah.
But throughout the movie, he started to see that, like Selena Kyle, even that kid in the funeral scene. He wasn't thinking about other people at the time when he was trying to be, because Batman's a vigilante. He always refers, just be honest, he always refers to a criminal because technically he is. But as time went on, he was learning about people that, you know what, there's people. He's not the only one with issues. He's in front of Selena Kyle. He's not the only one with problems, right? Selena Kyle's a perfect
Mm,
example of that, right? And he's learned that it's not life is not so black and white. There's actually gray involved, right?
mm,
And he's obviously the main story here is that he's vengeance, but what did vengeance lead? A killer vigilante who led a group, who inspired a group of people to commit crimes at the ending and stuff. And he realized this is not what he wanted intended to do to protect the city, right?
mm,
He wanted to, so he had to change his ways at the end to inspire hope, right? And that's what happens. And that's all. Look, Batman's been vengeful, but if you thought the interpretations of him, he's always been a guy who inspires hope, where
mm,
people in Gotham are not afraid to fight back anymore. They have somebody to believe them. It's kind of like Superman in a way.
Well, he's the opposite coin of Superman.
Yeah, and it's but they both offer hope in a different kind of way. I'm just saying.
Yeah, he's more. I always Batman is more. I'm sorry, but he's more of a deterrent,
Yeah.
right? He's the person that you really don't want to meet up with, and so that's what he does, right? In order to it's a scare tactic, but he's not really the boogeyman,
Mm-mm.
right? It's more of the idea that he is, projecting fear into people. And how he's using fear as like a tool for something that's positive. So that's why I say it's a deterrent. Well, Superman is not really a deterrent. Like that doesn't make
He doesn't
sense for
use
him to
fear
be a deterrent.
because a lot of crime in Metropolis happens during the day, and when Superman's around.
Yeah, like
This is a guy.
it's more inspiring. He's more
You think,
inspiring.
yeah, you think a guy with
Yeah.
godlike powers, criminals would be more afraid of committing crimes during day or night, but they're not. with Superman
Mhm.
around, right?
Mm.
Like
Yeah,
seriously,
it's kind of ironic. Yeah,
yeah. I mean, like that's a
but I was just reading. They said that Disney Plus surpassed Netflix in subscribers. So I guess this is what I was saying.
really.
That this makes sense. Yeah, yeah. They have yeah, discussing films. Disney's streaming services. Oh, I guess they're combining them all.
Oh,
Disney Plus, uh, Hulu, and the Sports Network.
oh, that doesn't count.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I wouldn't count that. But it does have a lot though. It says that Disney Plus has 152.1 million subscribers, and that they added 14.4 million subscribers during quarter three of 2022. So that's that. I mean, I don't know if Disney Plus alone will catch up to Netflix.
Hmm.
If it was like incorporated, if it was like here, I think it would, because
Yeah.
Disney Plus like has a lot of, as much as like we're knocking on it, it does have a lot of content.
Oh, I mean, Netflix is really the first streaming service, right? Like,
Hmm.
right? And yeah, I wonder what. I mean, Netflix. I mean, Stranger Things was good. It's probably the most pop. I don't know. Disney. If they just have to focus better quality on their shows. You know what I think it is with Disney and Marvel. They get a lot of kids that watch the show, so quality is not important to them as quantity. No, quality is not as important to them as quantity.
Hmm.
Because they know kids won't exactly like be like us. They're in the storytelling and writing because they have a different mindset than us, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I, I don't know. I think that that's kind of like a bad way of thinking about it, where the story isn't selling the product. I don't know. It just seems
Yeah,
backwards.
it is. The thing is, it is. The thing is, Batman can't work for. I'm sorry, but Batman doesn't work for kids.
Not anymore, at
No,
least.
no, not anymore. Not anymore. I mean, Superman could still, but Batman.
Yeah, I think Batman has been like associated to like more of adult character, which I think is fine. I think the character is more like like kids can watch it, but like it's more mature.
They
Like
can't
I think
watch.
I yeah.
They can't watch. They can't watch the Batman stuff because that's borderline rated R.
The
I mean,
Batman's not really borderline rated R.
it's TV four. It
It,
was 14, right? It was TV 14.
um,
No, was it
I
14
mean
or TV?
here, what I don't know if it was 14 here.
It's very movies are rarely rated 14. It's usually like PG-13 or
Well, there's
NC.
a lot of movies here that get rated 14.
Oh,
Like
really?
I'm
I
not
know
sure if yeah, because we have
TV
our own
shows do.
system.
I know TV shows do a lot.
Yeah, like like here in Canada, Batman and versus Superman was 14.
Really, I don't remember that.
Yeah, I mean, I always saw 14 was like PG-13, but like you can get away with a little bit more.
I mean, has there ever been F word in a Marvel movie? I don't
Um,
think so. I know there's been middle finger, and middle finger is pretty much the F word.
yeah, there's been the middle finger. I don't think there was like a no, I think there has to be one. There has to be one F bomb somewhere. I just can't remember.
You know what? I think they're afraid to use the F word because of
Well,
kids.
yeah, they would. Uh, I I think it's more so that they just don't want to get like a
And
rated
I
R.
know in comic books, when they swear the F word's always like they say the F word, but they don't show the whole word.
Well, a Marvel movie. Hold on. I have to think. A Marvel movie's never said bitch, right? I think that's like maybe too hard for Marvel.
I think some have.
Really? Okay. Because I'm trying to think.
I know, like yeah, bitch is
Because like his
bitch is a bad
Thor
word too.
Love and if Thor Love and Thunder had like orgies, like they're talking about orgies, that to me sounds a little bit
Why?
suspect. Like how that got a PG-13
Yeah, it's because it
because
fits
they don't
Zeus's
show it.
character. Because it fits Zeus's character, right? Is that the only reason? Because Zeus is like a sexual being. That's the only reason.
I uh, I
I don't
don't
know.
know. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know how to pass two man orgies. I mean, they have Star Fox in the MCU now. You know what Star Fox is known for?
Yeah, yeah.
That's
I
why I
mean, they're
said.
definitely not
That's
gonna
why I
go
said.
there, but
I don't think. That's why I don't think they're gonna tell you Ghoul and Damien ever because they don't want to have that R word do the R thing in the Batman. I think that's too extreme.
the R word.
Oh, I'm not gonna say not um uh you know what Talia does to conceive Damien. I'm not gonna say.
Okay, okay.
I
I
know
was
there's
thinking
another one. I
another
know
R
there's a,
word.
you know
I was like,
there's another R word I don't want to say. Every
yeah,
letter
I'm not gonna say it on stream.
no, every letter has a bad word to them now these days.
Yeah,
So,
that's actually a good joke.
yeah, I
Every
don't think
letter has R
and
swear word now.
they would definitely never do that in Marvel, even with Star Fox around.
No, no. Marvel is. I'm gonna be curious what happens to Marvel in 10 years.
Oh, I'm curious if they're ever going to do Mephisto. I mean, like, because he's a devil. Mephisto's not really the devil, man. He pretends to be the devil.
Yeah, I'm surprised they. I mean, I don't think Ghost Rider is gonna be in
No.
Phase 5 or Phase 6. It's like, damn. They're gonna run out of characters though.
Yeah, they, you know, you know if they put X. Yeah, when are they gonna put X? X Men's gonna be like Phase 7, isn't it? Aren't they?
Yeah, I think it's gonna be Phase 7.
Fuck. Don't like. What are they gonna do? X Men villains? I'm gonna have like Onslaught. Oh my god, they have Onslaught.
Yeah, I can see them doing Onslaught. I wouldn't be surprised if that was like the first villain right out of the gate.
You think they should? You think they would redeem Apocalypse? Yeah, they better redeem Apocalypse.
um,
He sucks so bad in that movie. I feel bad for Oscar Isaacs.
I
Oh,
don't
wait,
think I don't think they're gonna even touch any of the characters. From the besides like
Fox.
yeah, the Fox movies. I think they're not gonna go anywhere near them. Besides like Magneto.
Magneto. I mean, but there's other ones, right? They can use Omega Red, for example, because he's never been used.
Yeah, Omega Red has never been used.
You know,
Which is
Omega Red to
weird.
me, Omega Red me. If they do a Wolverine Disney Plus, Omega Red fits perfectly there.
Hmm.
If he goes to Russia or Soviet Union, oh, they might not do that because of the war. I heard that's the one of the reasons they changed some stuff on the Disney Plus show. Was it Secret Invasion?
For what
I don't know.
exactly?
For Russia and Soviet Union.
Oh yeah, they had to like reshoot it because of I think they were saying that there was like some bomb that went off and I think the setting was in the Ukraine, so they're like, oh, we have to like change this. And there was like something with that the Skrull soldiers were like Russian,
Yeah,
undercover Russians or
so they might
something.
not do something like well, if the war ended, they might do something like Omega. I don't know. I don't know. They might not do Omega Red, or they might change its origins a bit because Omega Red is Russian, right? Like if I remember, he's
Yeah,
Russian.
do you remember that rumor that he was going to be in Shang-Chi?
Why he doesn't fit Shang-Chi?
Because they were going to like do a tournament. So like
Oh,
there was like a rumor that he was going to be in one of the
because
tournaments.
you remember Falcon Winter Soldier came out last year. You know the bomb that what they were
Hmm.
planning to do. You know it's supposed to be a disease, right? They were supposed to release a disease.
Yeah. Um,
I think it's
that
smart.
one actually that I think that one was debunked.
Was it?
That yeah, because I think it was like the main writer came out and said that they never actually changed the
I don't think
ending.
it fit. I don't think it fits the character because her character doesn't want to like destroy the whole world. Why would she want to
Yeah,
release a disease?
well, I mean, it gave more people like like more ammo to dunk on it because they were saying that the ending was so bad, and so the only reason explanation why it was so bad it was because they reshot it.
Yeah, But it didn't fit the character at all. I mean, the bombing part fits the villain, but the disease part, no, because her
No.
tension, like, it didn't fit her tensions, and it'd be very tone deaf if it was a disease. They went with that, and that's
Yeah.
what
That show was like such a mixed bag for me.
you know what's weird? John Walker with the Captain America costume. His nose is weird under that mask. I'll just say that.
Yeah. They that was intentional though, because like
I
they made
know
him look like he was almost like a bootleg
Captain
looking
America.
Captain America. Yeah, that was like so tense. It was clever though. It was very clever, but at the same time, like I felt like the villains in the show were just so wonky, and the stuff that they did with Sharon.
Yeah, they made her They
Eh.
made her like a bad guy villain. Like,
Yeah, we were because I was talking about that with my friend when it was coming out, and I'm like, I don't understand why they did that because it felt like they needed to have that character become a villain because they didn't know what else to do with her. And I'm still betting that she's not going to be a villain. They're just going to like retcon it. And she's like, oh, I was actually doing
she's
this for this other
undercover.
thing. Yeah, like
I don't
it's
know.
dumb. It's dumb. There's a lot of good elements in the show. Like I thought the way that the explanation of how Sam becomes Captain America was done very well. I thought it was better than what they did in the comics. And then on top of that, too, um, the whole thing with Isaiah Bradley was actually like probably the more deeper elements of the MCU. Like that was like as gray as I've seen the MCU,
Hmm.
right? Because they were kind of saying that Steve knew had to have known some stuff, but obviously he was kind of like ignorant to it, right?
Oh
Or
yeah, there's the times probably like
mm,
yeah, exactly.
there's always like I can never like the only show that I liked all the way through was Loki. Like I had no complaints about Loki, to be honest. That's why
It's
I'm like, oh, I wish that came out like every year because then I wouldn't like complain too much about Marvel.
mhm.
But yeah,
Yeah, but I think I ended here because it's 5:30. Yeah,
yeah, it was a
thank you for
long
coming
stream.
on. Tell me where they can
Yeah, no
find you.
problem.
Yeah,
So you can find me on Twitter, Blinded Braille. I usually just post rants, stuff about comics, movies, games. So you can go check me out there.
yeah. Yeah, thank you for everybody coming on. This stuff. Like, share, subscribe, comment below, whatever. August 20th is a Saturday. That's gonna be the She-Hulk episode 1 spoiler review. Remember, She-Hulk comes out on Thursday, August 18th. So I'll give you a day. Well, actually, 2 days pretty much because Thursday you can watch it, Friday you can watch it, Saturday you can watch it before my show. So yeah. So if you've seen the movie, you can come on my show and be in the chat. If you haven't seen the movie in not the movie, TV show,
The
the
show.
episodes.
It's okay.
It's because you think of Marvel, you think of the Marvel shows like a movie, so you get mixed up there. But if you haven't seen the movie show, I almost did it again. On the show, uh, I'm sorry. See it before you come on, or if you don't want, if you want to be spoiled, go ahead. But if you want to be in the live stream, see the show because it makes the conversation more interesting.
Mm.
And I'm not trying to be a jerk there, guys. It's just that it's how it is, man. And I know Blind Bill will probably see it.
Yeah, I'm gonna
And
definitely see it day one.
anybody, and if you, yeah. So yeah, take care, guys. AWO and Blind Bill are out. Have a good afternoon
Peace.
or evening or morning, wherever you're in this joke of a